Hello. Hello. We've got a surprise stream going on. I still have pore strips on my face. I'm so professional. Hello. I literally, within the last hour, got out of work, took a shower, washed my hair, got some pore strips going on. We're still currently waiting for Bard. But hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Hello, Flinty. Hello, Bitter. Hello, Liari. Hello, Candycraft. How are we doing? Hello. How have we been having our weekend today? It has been a week. Yesterday, we had ourselves a trip, and we did You Laugh, You Lose, which was a lot of fun. Even though a lot of the videos weren't super duper funny. Heckin', give me one quick moment. I forgot to grab something. Okay. Their emotional support pore strips. Yes, we're doing okay. Was way up later than I should have been. Yeah, I remember I went to sleep. I don't know how long you guys stayed up for. Yes, my emotional support pore strips. They take away all the gunk, all the dirt, all the stress, so that my skin is clear of life and all of its bullshit. I took off the nose one. The nose one's never as bad as the chin one. The chin one's, like, pretty crazy. I had goals for today and didn't succeed, but I tried. Don't worry, it's Sunday. Oh yeah, that's a chin pore strip. Okay, cool, I can move my mouth again. Hell yeah. Alrighty, so while we're waiting on Bard to get his ass over here, because last time I went over a VTuber application, he really wanted to be in, and I am here acquiescing. And it's really funny because this is probably technically our first, like, actual collab, and it's freaking this. So I'm not gonna go too into it, but last week I talked about an audition for a group called VFantasy. So real, I don't give a fuck if it actually works. I need a post shift peel mask for the placebo. Yes. I don't know, like, it just feels really nice to see all that shit come out of your face. But heckin', last week we talked about the group VFantasy. They are a TTRPG inspired indie VTuber group that is currently holding auditions. I learned about this through a friend of a friend who auditioned, and I was curious and decided to look into their application. That being said, we're not going to talk about their application again because I spent 4 hours yapping yesterday about everything, from going over the questions, looking through their Twitter to see how they handle as an indie VTuber group, what they're promising, because they're promising things, and kind of talking about the red flags, how the application could have been better, what kind of comes off as professional and what comes off as not quite there. That being said, me going through these applications and stuff is not to shit on VFantasy. If despite everything I've said here today, you choose to still audition for them, that is completely on you. I completely respect that decision, and I hope everything works well with them. This is not to get on anybody's case or shit on anybody or yuck the yum. But I feel like in the time where recently one of the biggest Western VTuber agencies completely imploded, where VTuber groups and agencies just don't seem to ever really truly be good or last long enough to do even anything bad, VTubers need to keep their eye out, and they don't know what to really look for. I have been around on the internet a long time. I have dealt with a lot of professional things. I've auditioned for a lot of things. I've looked at a lot of applications. Am I going to be the end all be all? Absolutely not. But there's a lot of younger VTubers out there, a lot of new flesh, a lot of people who don't quite know what to look for or what is a red flag or not. And there are some people that don't know the difference between a VTuber group, an agency, I know Bard talked a little bit about this on his stream too, where it was essentially he brought up Twitch teams, VTuber teams, agencies, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to go too into that. A group is usually just that. It's a collective of people that decide to do things together. There's usually no money involved. And it's usually kind of, everybody is kind of on their own, but at least if you were to say you were part of a group, here it is. If you needed people to play games with, here they are. They are essentially a friend group with extra steps. That's it. Oh yeah, it's exactly Candy. Exactly. It's more important now than ever to look out for your own well-being. Absolutely. And honestly, if this gives me flack, don't care. If it helps out a younger VTuber or any VTuber who's looking for a group, who is trying to find their place in the VTuber sphere, if my streams or my dissections on Twitter help people decide whether or not this is good for them or not and be more wary, then I don't care. My intent is to pretty much just help people. And this might be a thing that I do every time I find an application that catches my attention. That being said, after I finished talking about VFantasy, I kind of left it there. It wasn't until this morning that the social media manager of Nat19 approached me and said, that group you talked about posted an application for volunteer staff, and it made it into my feed, and there are some red flags. And I was like, man, I sure work today, and I sure am going to talk about it after work. That being said, I see Bard just scuttled in. Let me just get his reactive going. And then I will unmute so that he can hear us. I'm gonna just herberber. Too big. Get small. Alrighty. Sorry I'm late. Busy scamming a neurodiver. Oh, okay. Well. Hi Bard, how we doing?
Hi. I'm all right. You know,
Can you believe this is our first collab?
Officially, yeah, it kind of.
Yeah, it kind of is. But you said the next time I talk about an application to invite you, and I'm acquiescing. I'm a bitch of my word.
Exactly, and you are a bitch, definitely. And we appreciate you for it.
Here's the thing, and it's not me trying to be a bitch. If I am a bitch, I absolutely will take that title. But I'm a bitch with good intentions. A bitch with good intentions.
Okay. Let's be entirely honest here. Between the two of us, you were going to be the nicer one going through this because you still believe in the benefit of the doubt.
I do. I very much try to still give the benefit of the doubt. I still try to look at things from a lens of maybe they weren't sure what was going on. When I analyzed their application, they even told me we're just a small indie group just wanting to do something fun, and we're just like, we're learning about all this. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, if you want this to be a learning experience, hi, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you.
No. Especially now that we're seeing the actual like quote unquote founders of this group start interacting more. They've been around long enough. I
haven't seen
them
should just know
better.
On Twitter. I haven't seen anything because again, I said my piece and I left it at that. So if they've done anything weird in the past couple days, completely out of my scope. What, have you seen something?
No, I just doing what VTubers do, professionally stalk someone once they reply to a Twitter post, and just went off of that.
The person who let me know about this, which again I'll reiterate, is Maroon, who's the social media manager for Nat19.
Yeah.
She brought up their form as it came up on her feed, and she pointed out that there were some red flags. And apparently one of the founders went on a whole little thing on Twitter where they were essentially, I guess, I can't prove otherwise because apparently they deleted all the tweets, but they were apparently going on about how VTube, they don't get enough views, and then VTubing doesn't make them enough money and stuff. I didn't see any of that.
Hold on. Actually, I think someone sent me that, and I didn't even recognize it as one of the found. Hold on, let me see if I can't grab that.
I know one of them, apparently their computer blew up, and then the one that answered me, that replied to me, she just answered me. I found that there was some issues with her answer, and then I continued to dissect that. But again, we're not going to go over their audition. We're not going to go over my exact replies. Those will be in the little dibbly-doo thread, which I did. I'm doing a little dibbly-doo thread where when it's time to write where my red flags are, because like they asked last time, they asked me to write it down because my streams don't help anybody. So I'm going to acquiesce that again before they even come to answer it. Speaking of, okay, good. Nothing, no replies yet. So this will be, you know, I did a little Gendo Ikari because literally as I was looking at some parts of the form, I was like, okay. But yeah, so actually before we look at the form, you guys say something, hon?
No, sorry, I was looking through and I'm like, I don't know if this is one of the founders, because I got sent a very similar like message of like complaining about their lower viewership as of recently. I'm like, I know who it is, and I have like the original thing. I just don't know if they were one of the founders. But regardless, I went and sped ran through this real quick just so I could have like the. Do I still have that open? I should still have that open. So I'll be able to read along with you. But I fucking hate YouTubers.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
That is my opinion.
Oh dear. Well, I will
have a professional
probably,
conversation.
I will probably hold my opinion on that until I see things, and even then, I'm not going to. The reason I also don't want to particularly see too much about that now is because again, I want to look this as objectively as possible, as fair as possible.
Yeah. Of course.
But that is very interesting considering the complaints I had about the last form. Considering certain questions that now I recently learned they changed because you went over it when you streamed. They changed one of their more invasive questions, my opinion being the one of, have you been in any scandals publicly in the VTuber sphere, and how did you handle that? That's not a question I would have asked until like maybe the second, third phase.
It's not a question I would have asked at all.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's the thing of if you must ask it, if you have to, for whatever reason, you really need to ask this question, I would save it for once you're actually kind of sure that you want these people in, you want to be secure that now that they've made that first impression, are they really what you want? And the best way would be during that Discord interview that is part of their process. Because sometimes sometimes, again, people can write essays on ChatGPT and things like that. So just reading answered text for questions is not going to give you a general idea and vibe as it is talking to someone through VC. It's very important. And then on top of that, I did like no audition video required. Like that's
no audition
still made no absolute sense to me. On Blue Sky, I had asked the question, and nobody really checks my Blue Sky, but I had put on Blue Sky where I was like, audition videos, what do we think about them? And essentially, the one that summed it up the best was Aaron, who answered, if an audition video, what did Aaron say, actually? Let me go to my Blue Sky really quick. It was a while back. It was a little bit ago. It was like literally last week.
Also, hi Leah, hi Wiz, hi Candy, hello everyone.
Trying to find it. Here we go. So first one here, it says, if making a video is too much for a person who wants their job to be making videos, they may have some mixed priorities. Pretty much.
Yeah. Like I hate video editing. Like I don't like video editing in general, but I'll do it. Like if
it's that thing of, again, an audition can be an edited video, or it could just be, again, if you're just like a new fledgling VTuber, you don't have much to show yourself, but you really still want to take the time to audition for something, you can literally, again, I can go like I can go to my just chatting where I'm right here, and I can be like, hi, I'm Squeaky Chiona, I do this, XYZ, this is what I want out of a group, this is what I hope to bring to it, blah, 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 blah. It can just be you talking. Write your little script of what you want to say and what matters to you and what you want to really get across. Hit record, say it, done, send it. It can be literally that simple. If that is too hard, I'm sorry.
I don't know. How do you stream? Like, how do you do anything in this field? If talking on a camera is too much.
If you want to be a content creator, but making content is too hard, hang it up. Hang it up. Consider hanging it up. But yeah, without any more dilly-dally, because I know you only have so much time, Hun. We're gonna start
I'll
here.
stay up. You're worth staying up for. Don't worry.
Oh, that's so sweet. So, without obviously showing my DMs between me and Maroon, because I don't want to do that to her, I will chime in with a couple things that Maroon pointed out to me. Again, she is our social media manager. She has done social media for many things and game jams. Hi, Maroon. There she is. Everybody give Maroon a round of applause. We love her here.
Hi, Maroon.
She does
What's
such
up,
an amazing
Maroon?
job for Nat 19. And again, has a lot of credits, has a lot of experience being a social media manager for a lot of things, game jams mostly. Anything more about yourself, Hunbun, you are more than welcome to say. And if you are willing to, Maroon, it's up to you. I'm not gonna put any pressure on you. If there's anything you specifically want to give your opinion of, let me know, and we'll even let you into our little invite-only group. You can just come into the Discord and say your piece. You don't have to. You can also just say it in the chat if it helps. I will be keeping an eye on the chat. Okay. So.
Okay.
When Maroon brought this up to me, she said, red flags. She said, red flags as a professional and a contractor, and also as someone who has volunteered as a designer for social media manager for nonprofits. First off, the thumbnail says we can't even start at the actual application. The thumbnail says now hiring. Then goes, actually, it's unpaid volunteer, which already gives me a negative impression. Volunteers wanted would have been more apt, but now hiring gets more eyes.
Exactly.
So yeah, unfortunately, before we even get to the application, yeah, we are hiring. When you hear hiring, what do you think?
Yeah, I want money. I think
money.
That's job. Not too fucking difficult.
A job. There is no such thing as paid volunteer work. That is a job. So, but obviously, hiring, like Maroon said, gets more attention. More people see it. Hiring for what? But then we have here, in the bottom, it's still there. So there's still plausible deniability, but this is what gets the attention, the we are hiring. But right here, indie VTuber group looking for volunteer staff, artists, we're gonna get to that, moderators, clippers, talent management, etc. Fill out the form, we can't wait to hear from you. Now, some people have already beat me to the punch. Some people already have concerns. Why not pay people for creating the work? Is there a specific reason? Someone put here, someone said that they're willing.
Bump that first one real quick, because hi there. Thanks so much for your question. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, but why not pay people for the creating work? There's a specific reason. Is it specifically commissioning people without paying? We're not a talent agency. We don't have financial backing outside our own projects. This is a volunteer opportunity. It is zero obligation and allows for portfolio building. Let's pin that real quick. Let's pin that statement.
Put a pin in that. No obligation, allows for portfolio building and a volunteer opportunity. Someone said that they'd be interested. What would you expect in terms of the amount of time work I could contribute? They put here, entirely 100% up to you. If you want to contribute absolutely nothing and just chill around as an in-house artist for us, to go for actual commission work, you're free to do that. If you want to do some small work here and there, we'd also be very appreciative. Now, here's the thing. If you want to absolutely contribute nothing, why even bother applying? You know, think
and again,
about that.
Pin that idea, right?
Yeah. Someone put here, no offense, but why hire anyone if you don't have funds? It seems a bit predatory. And then they have an addendum. They have an addendum. Yeah, I'm down to either DM my main issues or join the call, whatever you're down for. I'm fine either way, Hunbun. If you want to jump in, you are free to jump in. You are free to jump in whenever you have something to say or sit with us. Again, having someone who has seen the ins and out of this and have more understanding of how this usually works, you are more than welcome. Your opinion probably has the most weight compared to both of us.
Yeah, I just like complaining about VTubers.
Okay, but so people have been asking them some questions. So they want to clear up some misconceptions about the volunteer staff positions. And they've written a little thing. They put here, there have been some questions about our volunteer staff, particularly concerning paid commission work like artists, editors, and others listed in the application. We'd like to clear up some misconceptions. No, we are not asking you to do group level work for free. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. That's why you're holding volunteer applications. That is exactly what you are doing. That is exactly what you're doing. If you volunteer as an artist or editor, this is on a person-by-person basis. Volunteer work, you are free to do as little or as much as you'd like. There will also be paid commission work for larger pieces that we need, things like commercial, mascot, edited videos, and other various work. We will never at any point expect free work from people who do not want to freely give it, and even then, we intend to pay people as much as we feasibly can. We'd rather work with in-house artists than search around for others. When people have an in-house artist, they're paying that artist.
For everything.
Because the idea of an in-house artist is that they're essentially on call.
It's on call. It is to provide consistency to the brand. It is, which if you're a group but not an agency, then why do you care?
Yeah. So
about like art cohesion.
Yeah, if you're going to use these terms, you need to know what that entails. Let's see. So yeah, they'd rather work in-house than search for others, which is why we've opened the volunteer applications the way we have. We'd love to have more people to regularly work with, and so we'd love it if you just take a moment to apply. We have so many good people here with us. Come be part of the community. This is fluff. We don't care.
Yeah, that last bit is fluff because you just formed your Discord and you don't even know any. I guarantee you don't know a single person in your actual Discord.
If you're in-house, you're contracted. Exactly. And again, like I said with the previous one, as soon as any fucking money starts being thrown around, you gotta have something in writing. The moment
writing. Just any kind of writing, like even just basic Discord DMs of like, hey, you're doing this for this, that, and this time. Like, it doesn't need to be a full-blown contract. Not everything does.
But something has to be in writing.
Yeah.
Something has to be in writing and generally agreed upon. Because once you start passing around money, once you start quote unquote paying people, you're a business. You're a business.
It's no longer a fun thing. Yeah, it's not a group thing.
Yeah, you're skirting business. When they were having the whole thing with the merch, where they were talking about, they provide merch opportunities, they're talking about fourth wall. Anybody can make a fourth wall. It's not anything that an indie can't already figure out on their own. It's a made a made to order merch site. It's like Redbubble. It's like Society 6. But generally
you buy
catered towards content
2 or
creators.
3 art pieces, you get the commercial rights from the artist, and you upload it to whatever merch it's meant to fit.
Done.
Yeah, it's not that hard. You want to buy a Magical Bart coffee mug? You can do that right now. Like, it's not that hard.
But so yeah, this does it clear up any misconceptions? If anything, it brings up more.
No. It actually made this more confusing.
It actually made this kind of worse. Someone oh no, nobody answered this. Okay, so they
nobody
left
responded.
It at that.
Nobody cared.
Nobody responded. What they also should have done, oopsies. What they also should have done, instead of a quote retweet, because unfortunately you can just turn off retweets and these I think won't show on Twitter. This should have been its own post and then linked on the bottom here.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to assume it's on purpose, but it does make it hard to find this sort of thing unless you're actively checking their account. So
no, that goes back to the platform, like the media mismanagement. Hello, Maroon.
Hi.
How we doing, hon?
I'm good.
Oh, and then immediately dies. I'm good. Just take it out.
There we go.
I'll get a reactive for you going, hon, while you make yourself known.
No.
Did we meet before?
I don't think so.
Were you part of that repo game we played, I think, at one point? I don't remember.
You might have, maybe? I'm not quite sure off the top of my head. I accidentally moved something. Good job, me.
I'm proud of you.
I'm so good at streaming. I'm so good at it.
Anyways, if not, nice to meet you, Maroon.
Hi.
I'm so good at what I do. So
Thanks
Maroon.
for this chill lo-fi while we complain, by the way, Squeaky. It's really nice.
Yeah, I tried. So Maroon, you have brought yourself here, which means you have an opinion.
Oh god.
Yeah. So for money, the discussion of money for any group, even if it's like a fun little group of friends, there needs to be like a written out understanding on how money is handled and where it's going to go, like before anything gets started. Yeah.
I can't even find their post on the quotes.
Yeah.
Nice.
The post of like, oh, like, well, we'll pay you. Like, we'll pay you. Maybe we'll try to pay you. We want to pay you. That doesn't work. Like, I've been a part of many dev groups that like try to become studios, and money is usually the big argument point. To the point where, like, with my own group, we just outright don't charge for things. Like, we don't want money coming in because we don't want
money complicates things so much.
If money somehow ends up in our hands somehow, we all agreed it was just going to go to charity because none of us wanted to take any percentage, because if any of us are taking money, then everyone gets money, and our projects usually have like 20 to 30 volunteers, so
yeah. It's also just, again, it complicates things, as we've seen with the recent thing with VShojo. And I know they're not an agency. They really implore that they're not an agency, but money is not only the thing that will lift you up, but it will also be your downfall. It can be both. It's a double-edged sword like that. And again, once money starts passing around, once you start telling people that you are going to pay them, then once you tell people that you're going to pay them, people have every right to ask for where their cut is. And if you don't have it, there's an issue.
And the problem that I want to bring up is on the last, document, they don't expect like a percentage from any of their talents, right? So, but they are free to give money if they want to the group. But then what if one person is giving like half of their Twitch payout to the group and no one else is, and then that stuff is being spent on other people's projects? Like, how does that fare to... I don't know. It's one of those weird things that's naturally going to breed like resentment.
Or another thing too with the merch, where they have the option where if the talent specifically commissions the art and gets the commercial rights, the sales are split between them and the rest of the group. Obviously with the talent who paid for it getting the higher cut, but that's still a cut going to the rest of the group.
And merch sales aren't that big, to be honest. Unless you're like mega famous, they're not.
The profit margins are razor thin.
Yeah. So unless you're selling a lot of fucking merch, the profits can be either good or not that great. And that's why you also have a lot of like things where a lot of places now where they even ask for a required threshold that your community has to meet before they even bother making it. Because especially now, and we're not going to get too into it, but things like tariffs and stuff, now a lot of places can't afford to just be like, oh yeah, we'll make all this stuff and we're gonna hold it in our warehouse and then have to pay for all that shit. Now they have too much stuff. The less middleman there is, the less something is hiding away in a facility, the easier it is, the more cost effective it is. It burns money. It burns money.
Also, the I'm sorry, but like hearing like I can give as much money as I want to the group, those books better be airtight. Everything needs to be recorded, because all of a sudden if I see that, like let's say founder A or founder B or member A, like they no longer are reporting money problems. It's like, but I don't see any significant improvement to the group. I can easily yell money laundering. Like I can easily do that if they can't
embezzlement
otherwise. Yeah. Like
it's again just gonna naturally cause issues.
Money is so messy. It's messy.
It's already enough that like so many VTubers are already committing some sort of freaking tax fraud because they don't report any of their earnings and stuff like that.
Well, I got my tips through Ko-Fi, and tips aren't reportable income, don't you know?
If it's going through PayPal, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Because here's the funny thing. If you are doing onboarding on Twitch, that PayPal account is required to become a business account. You are not a charity foundation. So, okay, it's tips. I'm sorry. Just like the waitress got to report her tips when she's working at freaking Starbucks or at freaking Baskin or like Outback Steakhouse, you got to report your tips too, honey. It sucks. I don't feel like tips should be a taxable thing since it's someone essentially giving gratuity, but unfortunately it's the world we live in and the IRS wants to know. The IRS for some reason wants their cut. We can't really do anything about that.
I have two, and you know, Squeaky, we live outside the U.S., so we have two countries who are interested in what's going through our
And that's
account.
another thing too. If you are an American citizen and you are just residing in another country, that does not mean you do not have to report your taxes. You do. You still do. That's
you may
why
not owe
Twitch gives
anything
you tax
because you might not
forms.
make enough, but people don't know, Candy. People don't pay their fucking taxes.
A lot of people don't. It's that thing of, if you're working, obviously going to a tax professional and asking about that stuff doesn't hurt. There are ways to kind of do it yourself. Obviously, if there's any questions, ask your tax professional. I'm not a tax professional. My uncle literally is. My uncle literally is an auditor. So, I gave him all my forms. He did everything that he knew what to do. But the point is that any money coming in, you have to report it in some way, shape, or form, especially if they're giving you any sort of piece of paper. Even if they don't, you technically have to report it, especially because a certain person in office lowered the minimum threshold that you like absolutely have to like 600. Before, I think it was 10,000, where if you were under 10,000, you could kind of get away with not reporting any of your income. Now, if you make 600 or more, you are required. So even if you get 6 Twitch payouts in the year and it just happens to all total 600 or more, sorry, hun bun, you gotta report it. Girl, I'm way too scared of the damn IRS to play like that. Some people have some serious balls. It's mostly also, it's not even that some people are like playing a dangerous game. They don't even know they're in the game. On top of that as well, even if, because here's the funny thing with Twitch. Twitch is an American company. So even if you are not an American, you still have to do some sort of filing. I don't know to what extent, again, don't at me, but you still have to do some sort of filing. Like you'll still have to do it for your own country on top of that. Yeah. Because your own country also wants to know, well, what's up with that? Like, they might
Why
not know.
are you getting paid by a foreign company? Yeah.
They might not have any real, like, for example, so like my Twitch payment is under my American Social Security number, which means that Canada has no real way of knowing that I'm earning anything on Twitch. I still need to report it though as like side income or something. But because it's foreign brought income, they probably won't tax it. I'm not sure to what extent. And I think there's also a threshold.
Anyways, that's whole tax law. That's a whole other fucking topic.
Talk to your tax professional, though. We are not the end all be all.
Exactly. This is not legal advice.
That being said, we've gone over all the little preamble. Now let's get to the application itself. Now, the first one was very long-winded. I'm feeling this one's gonna probably be, I literally like half awake, just like filled shit when you sent it to me, Maroon. But we're gonna go over it. So from the top, they're VFantasy, a fantasy-themed indie VTuber group. Thank you so much for checking out the form and volunteering to work with us. This is not their audition form. This is their team volunteer form. Please make sure you read through the information. Please note that we are an independent VTuber group. We are looking for generous individuals to dedicate their time with unpaid volunteer work. Unpaid volunteer. Again, the moment money starts switching hands, you are no longer a volunteer.
Oh, you're a contractor.
You're a contractor.
You're a contractor.
We plan on finding ways to compensate our staff in the future. Already fucked it up. But at this current time, we are unable to provide any financial compensation. Credit will 100% always be given, because you should, to our talented artists and creatives that work with us. This is virtue signaling. This is just, look how good we are. We're doing that thing we're supposed to be doing anyway. Like, okay. Application will be open for 1 month.
They're keeping this application for a month, you know, same with the talent one. That's not new.
That's not new, nothing new. Let's build something we're proud of. Before taking the time to complete this application, we ask that you read through our guidelines. We have to ensure a sense of professionalism here between the members of the staff team. They really like throwing professionalism around the place. Let me just lower this a teeny bit. They really like throwing professionalism around here. Just because you know how to say professionalism and you like to throw it in everything like a garnish doesn't mean you're professional.
Yeah.
Just because you can say the word doesn't mean you are that. So you can still do it wrong while like you can talk the talk and walk the walk, but it doesn't mean that you're exactly it yet. And already again, the fact that they're kind of conflating unpaid volunteer and then being like, well, we might be able to pay you later, you're already fucking it up. You're already fucking it up.
That was so bad. You don't, because like you're dangling a carrot and a stick at that point. Like, you know, you could be paid.
Yeah.
Like, you could be paid. And it's like, okay, you're a volunteer. You're either paid or you're not. The expectation is compensation or not. If I'm a volunteer, I will never expect to be paid.
Yeah. Yeah. The idea of volunteer is that it's, again, from the goodness of your heart. So the moment you start bringing up payment, like Maroon said, candlestick, carrot on a stick, you're being like, but what if though? You might want to apply because maybe, you know, if everything works well, we might be able to pay you then. And don't you like money? It's skeevy. It's skeevy. It's skeevy. They probably don't meant to, and they probably don't think about it. Don't think it, but it's skeevy.
It's skeevy. It's scummy. It's predatory. It's stupid.
IDK, if this is just me, but doing unpaid work for an independent agency that's up and coming, especially if they're all strangers, feels insane to me. But can they? They're not an agency!
They're not an agency. That's where you're wrong. They're not an agency. They're just
group.
They're a bunch of silly little streamers who are just getting together for some silly little projects. And if you want to help with their silly little projects, that's perfully fine.
You better be professional, okay? Be professional, because we may pay you. We may pay you one day.
If you make us famous, we might pay you at some point.
If you want to work.
Like,
so what ensures a sense of professionalism between the members of the staff team? What are the expectations? Dedication. Once again, this is a volunteer position. We don't expect you to volunteer all of your time and energy to this position, but we do ask that there is a modicum of commitment to the role should you be accepted. I mean,
pause. So go back to those tweets that I told you to put a pin in earlier. Hi there. So first off, we're not an agency. Secondly, this is a voluntary opportunity. It's zero obligation and allows for portfolio building. There is no obligation to do any work, except we must expect you to be dedicated to doing the work that you volunteered to do.
So yeah. But the thing they want is dedication. Am I getting paid or not?
If you work really hard someday, we might give you $5, maybe even $1. Again, it just but like this is a volunteer position and there's zero obligation, but we want you to do something. You have to do something. But you just said there's zero obligation to do something. Which is it?
If you just want to sit around and do nothing, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
except you must be dedicated to your role that you have.
You said that.
This is why I don't assume like benefit of the doubt.
What do they say?
Either they.
Yeah, if you want to contribute absolutely nothing and just chill around, to go for like what changed? What happened?
What happened between? Did you write this and then now you're putting out fires after the fact, or are these two different people writing these these posts?
Well, here's the thing too. Followed by active participation required. We ask that you are an active participant in the Discord at least once a week at the bare minimum. If you have the time to hang out in the talent streams or be active in their communities, that's great, but not a requirement.
It's required. It's in the same fucking paragraph that you say it's required, yet not.
I have to be in the Discord once a week for what? To prove I'm alive? Because that's a business meeting then.
Or,
that's
or engage with their streams, you know, or like, you know, can you be a volunteer groupie? Maroon, are you want to be a volunteer groupie for Squeaky and tune in at least 1 hour once a week?
You know, I've thought about it. I'm glad you asked.
Did Gunrun secretly write this? Frickin' I don't know.
Like this is the cognizant disconnect that I don't fucking understand with these people.
We ask that here's the thing again, and when you say an active participant in the Discord, what does that entail? Is it just me saying, hi, I'm here? Is it just posting a meme? Or is it actually checking in with the rest of the staff? What are and again, like
you have to join VC and play chess with people? Like, what do you want? What
do you consider this? And then at what point are you better off just having a meeting every week? And nobody got time for that. Every month. We like freaking Nat 19, we can barely come together for a goddamn meeting. We really try.
I think genuinely, if like once a month, right, they did like, hey, this is our like
a check-in
bulletin board of all the projects we have planned. If any of these projects interest you, contact relevant individuals, and that's how all the people who want to work for the group can then like know they can like sign up and like see if they would be a good fit for, right? Like I think that's a great idea, but that's not what they're saying.
I volunteered for like actual nonprofits, like we're doing something good nonprofit, which if you're going to volunteer, it should probably be for that. Not once was I required to be an active participant in group chats. Like if the person in charge needed something from me or the team I was put on, I was contacted by that person. I didn't have the onus wasn't on me to prove I was still alive in the group chat.
Yeah. If you're gonna have volunteers, it is on you to check in with them, and if they're still willing to continue their volunteership and stuff like that. You are asking them the favor. You need to keep tabs to make sure that this is just, we don't want to do work. I don't know. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna ask this right now, and then I'm gonna ask this at the end of this. What are the founders doing besides their own VTuber activity? What are the founders doing? There's 3 of them.
I only know one of them, to be honest.
I mostly say this a little bit more rhetorically because, again, if they're holding talent auditions and they're holding staff volunteer applications, what are they doing? Are they talents themselves within the group? Are they just the ones that can say we run this group and then do actually nothing? Or are they
not
also
contributing
going to be
any money to
well, they might.
Maybe someday.
Maybe
someday.
Maybe someday.
When everyone else makes them famous.
Maybe someday.
Not me listening to all this and questioning some of the volunteer work I do. You should. Always question. Always have questions.
Always question.
Because again, the point of volunteer is that you have a choice to keep doing it. They are not entitled to their time. You are offering it to them. But they are not entitled to it. The moment they start being like, you have to, the moment they say that you have to, you are required and you are obligated, it's not volunteer anymore. It's unpaid labor.
This is an internship if we really wanted to be generous in that regard. But at least an internship has like actual work history people care about.
Well, that's the thing. With internships, you can put it on a resume. Volunteer work, depending on the volunteer work, you can't do shit for it. But either way, communication.
You might give $1 bar. Don't be rude. I'll be as rude as I fucking want to be, which is great because on the future one, I would immediately not be qualified for this group.
Yeah. So, communication. Please be willing to communicate any grievances or unavailability in the foreseeable future in a mature, professional manner. We believe open communication is the best policy when running an efficient team. No. That's your job.
Also, if they're not actively working on a project, why do you need to know if they're not available or not? Like, it's
This is
just
any communicate grievances. That's fine. Unavailability. This isn't a job. It's on you to ask me if I'm available, and I'll let you know.
Also, I keep being told to be like mature and professional, and that's not a red flag.
that's not a red flag. We're family here.
Hey, we are professional. We're a professional, not business. So be professional. Or I'll professional.
Why is this reminding me of that little cat that's like wearing the suit and tie, like business,
Yes.
numbers? Like,
Yes, exactly.
why is that what I'm being reminded of?
Yeah, I can.
Like,
it again. When it comes to keeping tabs on volunteers, that is your job to keep things on tabs on them. This kind of reminds me of the fan art competition. If you win, you get $5 stuff. That's a whole other can of worms. We're not touching that.
No, it's the same fucking shit. Because, and I hate it too. And I know you probably have a structure that's squeaky, but I'm gonna ask you like a very direct question here.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between this ragtag random group of chuckle fucks coming out here and saying, hey, is there any volunteers who want to work for free, be reliable, be consistent, and just do the work that they're told to do? And me going out there and saying, hey, does anyone want to just edit my videos for free for exposure?
Oh yeah, no, there's almost no difference. One just has more words.
Like, or the like, hey, design my next outfit, and if you win, I'll pay you like $200 for the sheet. And it's just a scam to get like 50 different commissions out of the box on the opportunity that they might get $200, right?
The thing is though, and again, when it comes to those sorts of things, that to me is kind of like a contest. And that's that thing where, because again, artists aren't stupid. If they want to submit to a fan art contest or a costume design contest, they need to be known. Like, obviously, it's on the person holding this to disclose, obviously, the amount of the prize. And usually the idea is that if you don't win, you didn't get anything. Now, you might now be in that person's mind when they look in the future. It's like an audition in a way. But it's that thing of, like, with art contests, you don't, if the prize money doesn't sound good enough to you, don't enter it. Easy. Save yourself, just don't enter that.
I still find them equally scummy, just because of the amount of times there's a lot of artists out there who just do shit for free, and this is the exact kind of people that would sign up for this kind of stuff. The opportunity that they might get something in the future.
The thing is, though, at the same time, I am not going to tell an artist what to do. If they saw a funny VTuber and the VTuber was like, I'm holding a fan art contest, but I only have a Steam gift card. If that's enough for that artist and they are willing to take the time and effort to do all of that, and they want to go fucking ham or din mode, fuck, live your fucking truth. You know you're only getting a Steam gift card out of that, right?
This is reminded me of the posts I've been seeing going around of like, what's your commission price? 2 shawarma and a Sprite.
Yeah, it's that thing of, here's the thing, I personally, I wouldn't be doing that. If I was going to be holding any sort of content for anything, speaking of Din, if I was going to be holding any sort of contest for anything, I would want to at least secure a good amount of money. Because again, you never know. I might be expecting fucking stick figures, and then someone comes in with the fucking Sistine Chapel, and I only have a Steam gift card. Like, that, I would offer more because of my own conscience. Some people, you know, for some people, again, freaking 2 bagels and a Sprite is all they've got, and someone said, good enough for me. You know what? God bless you. Good for you. Live your truth. Have fun. Because at the end of the day, these sort of contests, yeah, some people have, some yucky poo-poo people have come and tried to, like, exploit people for it. No one made these artists do this shit. If I say enter my contest for a chance to get a Steam gift card and you win and you be like, can I have anything else? The fuck? What do you mean can you have anything else? The prize was the Steam gift card and nothing more. What do you mean you want more?
How dare you ask for more? I get it. I don't know.
I get it because there are some people that have been yucky poo poo about it. But at the same time, again, like the artist can just not enter it. They can just not enter it.
That's true. That's the difference between us, is the level of trust we have in people to manage themselves.
Yeah, I've been here the entire time. I know you have, Hunbun.
We love it.
But yeah, heckin'. Also, yes, I did. I answered you. Let's see. You're always going ham, hun. I love you so much. Yeah, they look absolutely great so far. They're so freaking cute. They're gonna love them. They're gonna love them, and all the other VTuber civvies are gonna be so jealous. Okay, but yeah, that's...
Anyways, professionalism. See?
While we understand that this is an unpaid volunteer role with an independent VTuber group, we always gotta point that out, just in case. We still request that you have some form of professionalism and growth mindset. We want to make something great, something lasting and long-term that could possibly grow into a paid opportunity down the road. And there's the carrot and the stick again.
Growth mindset for the volunteer position.
You know what this reminds me of? Yandere Dev.
Thank you. I was going to say that. I was going to say that.
Yandere Dev making used to make all this.
It's been a while since I've delved the lore. Remind me.
Yandere Simulator.
Yeah, like I know the dev is a fuckwit, but like I forgot specifically why.
The real yucky poo poo shit aside, what caught a lot of people's no one really batted an eye about it for a while because he kept saying that later on he would pay actual people to redo and replace assets. The fact that he was making money on Patreon, making money through his YouTube channels and everything, following the development of his game, yet almost every single asset was either something you can get for cheap on the Unity store, something that was grabbed from DeviantArt, or created by volunteers. And there were times where whenever there were certain delays, he blamed the volunteers for not getting the work done on time. I could be wrong here, but like 95% of Yandere Simulator, aside from the voice acting, after a certain point, was all volunteer work. I know a lot of the voiceover was volunteer work up to a certain point, because the person in charge of the casting and the voice of Yandere-chan tried to ensure that the voice actors got paid.
Well, that's good.
But all the other volunteers, most of them did not get paid at all. Again, they were called volunteers. So
they're volunteers. They might get something.
But here's the thing. The one thing Yandere Dev didn't do that these people are doing is that at no point did Yandere Dev ever say that these volunteers would be paid. They are volunteering. He makes all the money for everything that they've worked and made, whether it be from scratch or drawn, or again 3D assets, art assets, again voiceover, music assets, backgrounds, objects, a lot of that was all volunteer work.
Oh, hi Scylla.
Hi Scylla. Are we getting raided? Oh dear. Hello, raiders. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Hi, Scylla. Hello, everybody. We are here today. We are looking at a VTuber group volunteer staff team application. We are analyzing it. I'm here with Magical Bard, and I am here with Net19's social media manager, the lovely Maroon Drops, and we are looking through this form. We're seeing what catches our eye and what doesn't. If you are someone who is interested in VTubing, who is interested in the background stuff about managing things with groups, there's gonna be some insight going on here. We're gonna be talking about this form.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know where to start and you're interested in streaming VTubing and you see all these groups holding applications and stuff, you don't know where to start or if it's something you should apply to, stick around. We might talk about that. We have been talking about that.
The answer is no.
Things to look out for, what constitutes a red flag, how something could be worded versus how it is. It's dissection and it's analysis. And today's applications are from a small upcoming group called VFantasy. Last week we went over their audition form. This week we're going for their staff application form because they don't have talents and they don't have staff. So very quick rundown about their talent application. They are, again, a small indie VTuber group, kind of sounding like an agency with some things, and right now, again, their volunteer form is looking a little kind of crazy. But I hope you guys had a wonderful time over in Scylla's stream. Heckin, hope you're having a wonderful day, Scylla. Mwah, I love you again. Thank you so much for your Heckin raid, and hope you had fun with Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah.
All right.
Respect.
Going off of professionalism, we also ask that you request and support your fellow staff members and talents. Toxicity, drama, and passive-aggressive behavior will not be tolerated. We ask that you resolve all conflicts privately and maturely. We also ask that you please respect each other's model, brand, and personal limits. If you are an artist, please make sure you are not changing aspects of a talent's model if you're uncomfortable with attempting certain skin colors or hairstyles. Hi, hello.
Now, that last bit has been something that a lot of that occasionally flares up, right? Like as a point of discussion. I don't know anyone who's been personally affected by that kind of thing at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's more of be respectful of people. Just don't be openly a dick. I know I can be crass at times, but at the very least, actual problems typically don't get dragged publicly. Typically.
Mm-hmm. I don't like how itemized this is, because if you see this on an application, let's say you've never heard of these people, this is application, job application, a volunteer application, it doesn't really matter, and they are specifically being don't do this specific thing, I'm gonna think you have a bad history with it in the past, and I'm gonna think did something happen?
Remember, kids, if the rule exists, it's because someone broke it.
It's I feel like that should, if an artist is struggling with that needs to be addressed privately. Because imagine you see a job application and it's hey, don't do this very specific behavior or thing, and I'm I just got here, I don't know what you're talking about.
I also feel at least in the case of if you're an artist, blah 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 blah, this could have been a section maybe it is a section in this application for people who are applying as a volunteer artist. What are your limits? What are you comfortable and uncomfortable with drawing? That can be an open-ended question.
Yeah.
And that will already and then you can narrow down your choices based on that. And this wouldn't be an issue you'd have to put in this. You wouldn't have to write this, because you've already scouted out people that are more open to drawing other skin types, hairstyles, that don't have any issues drawing not safe for work, or more animalistic bodies and stuff. You ask them, what will you draw and what will you not draw? Are you comfortable with not safe for work? And according to the answer, that is the make or break of their application. And then if you want a team of of the most inclusive artists you can find, those questions will help narrow this down and make sure that you get at the end the artist you want. Because if you don't do that, and you end up bringing on an artist that only wants to draw cute, skinny, light-skinned anime girls, but one of your talents is a furry, what are you gonna do?
It might be a little bit of an issue.
What are you gonna do? That's gonna be an issue now. What if you didn't ask that question and none of the artists you brought on, there's now one talent that you can't that can't work with any of these artists,
Yeah.
that are going to have to look for an artist themselves. And now you're breaking your promise that you made in the other application to your talents that you were going to find them artists. Now they got to do it themselves.
Now they gotta do it themselves. You know how hard it is to find artists who are willing to draw my fuzzy legs? It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Unpaid
Not
artists,
really.
yeah.
And an unpaid artist
unpaid
at that.
artist. Yeah.
An artist that won't take payment.
Let's see. This is like how many times they ask the applicant to be professional. Let's see. 2, 4, 5.
Bro, I'm right here, says
Hold on.
Din.
Hold on. I'm gonna Control F professional. Din, I love you. You know that. So they mentioned professional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times on this page alone. Well, one is about language fluency, but
Yeah.
also, Din, you know I'm not someone who approaches artists without money in hand. You know that.
Also on top of that, and this would have to be in writing or in some case, and again, another reason why things need to be in writing. For your volunteer artists, is any of the art that they make for you potentially going to be sold commercially?
Yeah, is this art going to be used for that fourth wall that was mentioned earlier, and the entire?
What are you going to be
group is
using
gonna
that?
be
What are you
profiting?
going to be using this art for? Is it going to be for promotion? Is it going to be for like cute little PNGs? Is it going to be for the
No.
merchandise? Is it going to be, what is it going to be used for? You need to specify that. And if it's going to be for anything that's going to be sold, money, please.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
believe that like stuff that like merch or like direct revenue. And when I say direct revenue, I mean like the creation of this art is directly leading to a sale. That should be counted as like commercial stuff. I've kind of always been of the opinion that like if you're working with streamers, no shit, a reactive PNG is going to be used on stream. That should not surprise you. That does not mean they're making money directly because of the PNG.
Yeah.
But
Commercial use, a lot of people conflate commercial use with certain things. My general definition is if I'm going to be using it on a material good that is being sold, commercial use. If it's a stream asset, like, what the fuck you mean commercial use? Am I gonna slap my overlay on a shirt? No, it's for streaming.
why are you offering stream overlays for $150, for example, as a commission, and then charging double when you find out I'm a streamer? Who the fuck else is ordering these? Like,
Man, I've done work for a project that, to my understanding, was unpaid. It was like a game jam.
Mm-hmm.
And game jams are beautiful because everyone kind of agrees, like, we're not getting paid. We're here to make something. And like I would like volunteer my time and assets to it, and then later I would find out that the creator was like starting to make merch off that game. And it felt like a slap in the face because that was never discussed with me.
The point was
And
never to make money.
It's like if I knew you were going to make any money off of this, I would not have volunteered my time, and now I refuse to work with them.
Yeah, and there's a difference between like, you know, oh, this was meant to be fun, but now it's like really popular. We could be making money off of this. Is everyone okay with that? Like, that is a follow-up conversation that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Not just going off and doing your own thing when you think no one else is looking.
Yeah. And again,
The
it's that thing of like, you could also you'd be impressed by just asking somebody, hey, freaking our game jam freaking went kind of nuts and people they want to slap that shit on a shirt. Can we talk about fucking hey Maroon, the logo you made? Can we talk about like how we can go about putting this on a shirt and making sure you're properly compensated this time because this is what we're going to do? Ask questions, talk about it. Don't just do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna speak for you, but I'm sure that you probably would have considered something along the realm of possibility if they had at least asked.
Yeah, like we could have totally worked something out. Like if my logo like was never going to be present on the merch itself, then like, and you know, we were friends or whatever, I probably would have been like, oh, you know, sure, thank you for talking to me about it. It was another thing to like just see it on my feed of like, hey, we're making money off this project you worked on for free. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Like even if the games that Deco hosted were done and I got art and I had permission, I at least asked him, I was like, hey, I got like this cute commission of Gallon and Polo and I got the clearance from the artist to use it commercially or compensated them. Is it okay if I put it on like my fourth wall? And Deco's like, sure. Usually it's like with our characters itself, he's usually fine. But I mostly ask just to make sure it's communicated in some way. Just ask. It's not hard.
Just ask. Speaking of the next bullet point, not sure. Ask.
You can read this one.
If you're ever not sure about a task, policy, or boundary, please ask. We would much rather have you clarify than assume. No question is ever a bad question, so long as asked with the intent of learning or growing.
Like,
I mean, that's just an actual.
It's kind of it's a no shit Sherlock, but it's kind of fluff.
It's fluff. It's no shit, but like, again, VTubers, they kind of need this to be told to them.
Yeah.
I'm a bit hesitant because like you keep asking for professionalism. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because
what does that mean to you?
It's like, because I can be a pretty blunt person, so if I just go to you and without fluff say what you're doing is a legal nightmare, please, look into this. Are you gonna say I was being rude?
Yeah.
Well, excuse you, Maroon. If we go back to the respect policy, it seems that you're trying to be a little aggressive with your behavior.
Oh no, I'm sorry, drama.
And you are starting a drama that is directly negatively affecting VFantasy. So we're gonna have to ask you to quietly step outside.
Oh no, but what about my $1?
We're gonna have to take this outside.
But what about my $1 maybe?
What about my maybe $1?
This is a volunteer position. Okay, you knew that joining in.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for your dedication and your growth-based mindset.
It's such a nothing thing, but at the same time, again, it's like you said, it's so broad, and it just seems like they're using professionalism to kind of like almost convince themselves that they think that this is professional.
Mm-hmm.
When I unfortunately no. Mm-mm. Speaking of Din, I am gonna actually also throw it to you, God. Maroon, because Din has made you a complimentary PNG tuber.
Wowee! Congrats!
Wowee! Send it to you. I've already changed it for you.
Oh, Din, thank you.
But Din has made you a cute little PNG. Let me just.
You're no longer such a square.
A literal square.
Finally. Finally. See, Mom, I can't change.
Yeah, don't just call something professional and it can't just call something professional and it ends up being that. Yeah. No question is bad as long as it's not who's in charge and where's the money going. Again, it just feels weird. Like, okay, it's fine. It's good to see that they've got an open line and are willing to hear things out.
Quotation marks.
But again, it's with the intent of learning or growing. It's just like, no, what if there's something actually wrong and I'm addressing that? Like, what? I don't know. It's weird.
Also, once you applied, make sure to join the Discord so you can hang out with the guild.
Why?
Join the Discord. Hey guys, did you know you can join the Summoners Network Discord with ! Discord? Join the Discord. I get it. Okay, like I kind of get it.
I get it, but it's
so like, come on.
Everything has a fucking Discord, bro. I'm not gonna join the Discord. If I don't know who you are, what's going on over here. Again, most people are, it's not a big ask. But again, there's so many Discords that people are in. They only are usually active in like 5% of them. I would probably join the Discord after I get in.
I struggle to be active in my own fucking Discord. It's a conscious decision I have to make every day to do it.
Ain't the Summoners Network Discord 18+? I'm gonna be talking to Cody about that because we honestly should consider making it 18 plus. As far as I know, I don't think being 18 plus is a rule. But it's something that I'm going to be talking to Deco about, because it should be.
Carefully don't banish all your British users.
Yeah. That being said, with all of that out of the way, the form starts to be generally pretty okay. What is your preferred name? What are your pronouns? What is your age? What is your country of residence? Discord username? Simple. What position would you like to volunteer for? If you have other skills you'd like or prefer, please list them in the other option. Talent manager, social media manager, event organizer. Do you know how stressful organizing an event is?
Yes.
For free? No. Moderator. Discord only. You will not be required to moderate our talent streams unless you volunteer through them directly. Artist. Including but not limited to live 2D, they put 3D here, including but not limited to live 2D, rigging, stream assets, emotes, badges, etc. For free?
Are they for free? A whole live 2D model for free? Yo, can I get my overhaul done for free?
Okay, but what if I decide you guys suck, and I don't like you anymore? Can I take that away? Like, or do you own my stuff now?
That's a question. Like, if your work, like, okay, let's say they took a live 2D model designer,
video editor, music producer.
It's a job.
Vocal mixing, including but not limited to master mix, etc.
Like, okay, the video editor one, it's like probably mostly shorts. If I'm being honest, it's probably mostly shorts. Like, but there are people who volunteer for that.
Yeah.
Because video editing is a pain, and like it's good to get practice. Music producing is a very small market, and I don't know anyone other than like one instance where someone's just handed out music for free, because you typically don't get to like resell very often, right? Like, Squeaky, have you met my buddy Zuchi?
I've never talked to them personally, but you've told me quite a bit about Zuchi, and I'm actually, funnily enough, actually, no, I'll let you go first.
Zuchi's a full-time music producer. He does music for streamers, he does music for gamers, all that kind of stuff. And one of the biggest issues that we occasionally talk about the fact is like he needs to keep expanding his market, because most streamers only want like 1 or 2 songs, which only come out to like a couple $100 per, right? And then he has to like wait a year before they probably would be willing to buy more music because they did a re-debut or they're doing an event or whatever. So like, what I'm really interested in though is like, as you kind of mentioned, like if someone's making a live 2D model and they decide that like, actually, I don't like this group anymore, can they just stop working on the model and trash all the assets? Like,
yeah,
can they just do that?
I don't know. That's people are getting there are people, there are artists that are charging like $300 to $500 for a live 2D model, and you still want someone to do it for free. And vocal mixing and music, and on top of that, like, so I've talked about it a couple times before. I'm working on 2 covers for when I get my really big model from Hanakyu. And I recently am working with a music producer that is also doing the music for Nat19, who she goes by October. Total sweetheart. I am looking so forward to working with her. I have seen her work. I have seen her vocal mixing, and I am so excited to see where she takes this project. And I will probably consider going to her for custom music as well, if things really go well, because I might want custom music for this debut. That's labor. That's labor and time. And also another thing I also have to say when it comes to not just music producing, but mostly vocal mixing, if it's for like things like covers and stuff,
that's hard. It's really hard.
There's that, but there's also the thing here. A lot of people that like to do covers and stuff like to put them on Spotify and YouTube Music. where you can make money from it, are they going to be getting royalties?
Are they going to be, compensated for their work? Wait, live 2 days normally cost 1,200 like mine did. No, a lot of there's a huge.
It depends on who you
price
go
range
to.
for live 2D models. Like most beginner models, quotation marks, are typically around like the 400 to 800 range. Most live 2D models tend to be around 1,200 to 2,000. It's when bigger, like more flashy models tend to be around the 5,000 range. And if you are such a sociopath that you've forgotten what it's like to be a human and you're dropping $12,000 on the live 2D model, then you've made it.
Yeah. Most people say that a VTuber model averages between the higher 3 digits to 4 digits. If you're spending 5 digits on a VTuber model, I hope you're doing so responsibly.
20. You're like one of the top 20 VTubers. Like that's, and even then, like
you're either one of the top 20 VTubers or you're bad with money.
Yeah. Or you're just that rich.
Or again, yeah, there's also that. You also could just have a lot of money. But it's that thing of, when it comes to VTubing, it takes a long time before it starts showing any actual fruit that doesn't end up going back into it. So again, why do you think these VTuber agencies don't last long? Because they try to cover these costs or look for sponsors to cover these costs, and they're in the red all the fucking time. VTubing does not make money. It barely does.
It's so, like, it will eventually make money if you wait long enough, but
yeah,
the speed of the internet does not let you wait that long.
And royalties are where a lot of music producers make their money too.
Yeah. Discord moderator, that's typically a volunteer position. Like that one's actually like not one I'm shocked by. Event organizer, I would never. Social media manager, I would never. Talent manager, like, okay, I hate the idea of talent manager, but mainly because like it's such a vague position. Like, what are you actually doing? Like, are you just helping with analytics? Are you like planning content paths? Are you like, what are you doing?
And again, this is also where I'm like, are you a group? Are you an indie group or are you an agency? Because a talent manager, a social media manager, and an event organizer, usually in agencies. Because a talent manager, what they're usually doing, and again, they're mostly just the manager. What are they doing? They're looking for sponsors. They're finding artists for you. They're doing things for you so you as the creator can focus on creating content. They will find the artist. Yeah. They will find the musician. They will find the video editor. They will find this and this and this. That's their job. They are the manager. They are there to manage and make sure that things are running so that you can make the best content you can.
Like, and none of this is public facing. Like, for the talent, it's like, oh, you're part of this cool group and, you do like little shows and stuff. If you're just like, if you're backstage, if you're if you're like staff, what benefit do I get from this? Because I'm not getting exposure. Like, most people don't know I'm Nat 19 social media manager. It's on a very public role. So why am I doing all this work if it's not even public facing work?
It's not paid or public facing.
Like, I'm not gonna get more viewers because I organized your events.
And again, talent managers are expected to find all of this stuff, and you're telling them not to get paid for that.
Yeah, like the only managers who like really like pop off are those who like also stream at the same time and then use their like vast network of connections to really make sure their like big events get the attention that they want them to have. And that's like such a long process to get to that point, right? So like the only ones I understand like volunteering are like the Discord moderator and maybe the video editor. If you're brand new to editing and you really just need someone to feed you material to practice on.
Yeah, you need experience.
On top of that, unless this application asks it later, music producer, video editor, vocal mixer, and artist should get their own form. Or this has to ask for their portfolio.
Yeah, because the only incentive I can see is you get to put this in your portfolio, or you get to tell people, like, put on a resume, okay, I worked for this group. And later on in the form, any hope of that was kind of just like, never mind.
Also, Julian Eclipse, thank you for the follow. Okay, well, okay.
But fluent. What, do you fluently speak English? Yeah, the same as the talent one.
Well, here's the thing. The original one, they had basic and then kind of like familiar. And last time I talked about their previous thing, I said if you're going to ask if they speak fluent English, you already don't want beginner and you already don't want like familiar. You want conversational and up. Also, it could also just be a yes or no question. Yes, no, other, or yes, no, and describe. But this is fine. Main social media platform, again, that's fine. So pretty basic questions. And then they've got that still there. Did I not? Hello?
No, it bugs out and you have to hit next twice. I don't know why it does that.
That's so weird. Okay, portfolio. Okay. Here's where we let your talent shine and showcase your greatest achievements. Please make sure that all links provided are up to date and not broken. Please describe your relevant experience and the position you're volunteering for.
Link your portfolio.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have experience with working with VTubers or online creators specifically? What are some projects you would like to work on with? That should already be kind of evident by what they're signing up for, to be honest, and you should already have an idea.
Yeah, I feel like the previous question, this right here, should have been in this section.
Yeah.
And then
should have already answered that last question.
Yeah, take this one out and put the other question in there. Actually no, the experience, no, keep that question there. No, put the what are you applying for? What do you want to do that requires a portfolio? And then yeah, how much experience, how long have you been doing the thing? Again, link your portfolio or examples of your past works if applicable. Not if applicable, because I can just be, if applicable means I don't need it. It's also not a required question.
It's also not a required question. I
can just apply with no fucking portfolio?
The only one that I can think of that'd be kind of hard to do for portfolio work is like event organizer, I think, because that wouldn't be like a little bit harder to.
You can link to the events that you helped organize. If it was like, let's say, a convention or a concert, you can be like, I organized this event, I organized that event. The only thing is, it's hard to prove that.
Yeah,
unless you have the receipts that you prove that.
It's hard to get proof for that. Everything else, though.
Yeah. The portfolio and examples of past works, that's required, honey. What's the point of a portfolio section if the portfolio is not required?
If I have a portfolio, I won't be applying to this. That's just me, though.
And again, the fact that it's if applicable, so what? I can just be like, yeah, I'm an artist, and then not link my previous work? Is this just like the audition video where it's just like, we want to base people on their we want to base judge people on who they are, not if they can do a pretty thing. It's like kind of what you need to do if you're looking for a fucking artist.
Yeah.
Kind of what you need to do if you're looking for a music composer
or a video editor
or
a talent manager.
Like if I'm looking for someone for VO or an artist or a video manager or a music composer, I'm not just gonna be like, who here does it? Show me what you can do. Comment with an example of your work and I'll approach you. That's like the portfolio is to the artist, the editor, the blah blah blah, as the audition tape is to the voice artist or the potential talent. The portfolio
and
is
neither
your
are
audition.
required.
And neither are fucking required.
Neither are required.
Any job, that's like applying to a job without a resume.
Which,
hey, bro.
you can do like you can absolutely do it, but like you are at the bottom of the barrel jobs if you walk up without a resume. Like you're in middle of nowhere Texas farm job application.
If I make application, if I host an application for a role that involves creating something for me, and in that application you don't link a portfolio, I'm throwing out your application. You're wasting my time.
Fun fact, by the way. Speaking of resumes, I once got a job in the middle of nowhere, Texas, because according to the old man, I was the only person in 5 years to give him a resume.
Wow.
It was middle of nowhere, Texas population. We stopped counting 5 years ago, and it was for a hornsmith position at a music shop.
Wow. Again, it's that thing of if you are someone that is wanting to make something in terms of the creative arts or content creation a career, you've got to have some place that has your previous work. Does it have to be like explicitly called your portfolio? It could be your fucking DeviantArt gallery, bro.
Yeah, it could be
like
DeviantArt.
something where I can see your past
It
work.
can be.
Yeah, it can be your Twitter. It can be your Blue Sky. You can
if
card
you're
is free.
a streamer.
You can make a gallery of your past works. I'm literally doing that with Din. It could be like how scammers send those texts with a bunch of grammar errors on purpose to make sure if people fall for it, it's the easiest of targets. Yeah.
And if you're a streamer, like it can be like your highlight gallery or your clips gallery, just showing. Yeah, there's so many ways to prove what you've done, and I can't like the only one I can think of like not being able to like give a direct link to your past work is the event organizer,
the talent manager, and the
Oh, the talent manager, you should be able to link to the previous individual and say like, hey, you should be able to ask them, and they will verify that I did XYZ for them. So past work, please share with me if you could, Pendulum, if you could put all your passwords in chat real quick, that would be
like
I've had I did like social media manager internships like in college, and those are like kind of hard to prove, so I literally had like my boss write me a LinkedIn recommendation to prove like I was actually an intern. Like some letter being like, hey, trust her, bro, she's not lying.
And again, Card, sites that like allow you to create your own little website, like Card or Wix or things like that, you can have a fucking Milano with your past works. For Din, I did this. Is it the best? No. We can still work on it, but it's something where it's like, hey Din, what have you done before? Voila. Here it is. Here's her digital art. Here's her traditional work. We're going to try to get more of that. Here's her craft work. Do I think anyone's going to commission crafts from her? No, but she can do it. I'm going to also do a section here specifically for like her PNG tubers under her digital art. That's my plan. But again, I've tried to take the most recent work that Din has worked on that I know people will be like, wow. And I put them there at the forefront, the first couple. Like, when it comes to her actual like commissions, I also, for her specific services, I've got little mini galleries with, what something falls under and, things like that. We have this so that whenever Din applies for something and they're like, link your portfolio, here you go. Here you go. Done. Here it is. It's still a kind of a work in progress, but there it is.
I have that portrait on my desk right now, and I love it. It's so good.
So like, it's that thing of like, I can understand that why they like with the audition video they didn't make it applicable, because what if I don't have a portfolio yet? Are you gonna throw out my application? And they don't want anybody to feel bad. But I'm sorry, if you're wanting to take this seriously, you will find a way to have something resembling this.
You will make something.
You will make something.
You will make a thing. You have a month. You have a month to make a thing to put in there.
Yeah. When I was younger and I didn't know how to like make a professional demo reel, I just took my favorite characters, took some lines, and I freaking just recorded those lines and then I slapped them together and put music in the background. Was it a super professional demo reel, like by the books? No, but it was something that when I apply for someone's silly online project, here are the voices I can do. Here's my range. And then later on, again, for freaking NSFW work, I did like a reel for like moans and sounds and stuff. And I put that on freaking another website. I had something that I can throw people and be like, this is what I can do. Because that's kind of how you show that this is what you're doing and that you take this seriously. And that you keep track also of how much you've done. It in and of itself shows some professionalism and some dedication. Those things you really seem to want.
They really want the professionalism. Why skip over the professionalism if you're not going to follow through on it?
Do you have experience working with VTubers and online creators specifically? Understandable, you kind of want something like that so that they kind of know what they're in for. But you know, it's fine. I feel like anyone applying for a VTuber group has hopefully some knowledge of VTubers and have maybe worked with or at least know a VTuber.
I would
trying to figure that out.
That they do.
Oh, I hope. And then what are some projects you would like to work on with us? I'm not sure about this. I would probably leave. I don't think this question's super required. It just kind of sounds like you can't think of ideas, so maybe they have some. But I would probably ask this in the Discord interview. I would say this for the Discord interview. What are some projects you'd like to work on with us? Is it a debut? Is it a concert? Is it a meet and greet somewhere? Or is it freaking a group cover song? Like things like that. I feel like if they're applying for a specific creative role, you're already gonna get an idea of what they're willing, what they want to do.
Exactly.
It's kind of a nothing question. Availability and commitment. Here is where you tell us a little bit about your goals and realistic experiences you have for VFantasy. How many hours? Yeah. How many hours per week do you think you can dedicate to your role? Do you currently work with other VTuber groups or projects? We will not ask you to disclose the persons you're currently working with in case of NDAs. All we want to know is if you understand your limits and boundaries and are able to dedicate time to our group. This sounds like a non-compete.
It is a non-compete.
How long are you willing to commit to this group if accepted? 1 month, 3 months, 6 months? Why would you even bother with someone who only wants to commit 1 month? Like, what do you mean?
What does long-term mean? Like,
and how long is long-term?
Are you expecting me to volunteer for up to a year without compensation?
I would, instead of posting specific things here, I would reduce it and do ranges. 1 to 6 months, 6 months to a year, 1 year plus. That's it.
It feels like
because no one's gonna hit 1 month. No one's gonna hit 1 month.
Okay, why are you asking me for a time commitment in advance for a volunteer role?
Yeah.
I don't even know what you want me to do yet. I don't even know if I want to work with you yet. Like
I can't. This sounds like a Discord interview question because I cannot realistically answer that right now.
Yeah, this is a second interview question. And again, the reason I also say it's better to go with ranges, and pretty big ranges at that, is because again, you don't know if they're willing to do 1 to 6 months and then they leave in a week or they leave in 3 months because life happens. Like,
defecation occurs.
You want to give as much wiggle room because this is a volunteer thing and people's circumstances change. They don't know where they're going to be in a month and 3 months and 6 months, a year, long term. Give them a range.
Especially with how things have been recently. Most people's lives seem to get reset every financial quarter. So who knows at this point?
But yeah, I will never be able to thank you enough for my help. Just keep being my friend, and I love you. But yeah, again, it's...
I don't know.
I don't know how much I'm willing to dedicate in my role because, you haven't told me what you've kind of already said what you're expecting, but if I'm going for an artist and you're expecting live 2D work from me,
5 hours a week is nothing for the actual project. It takes
Some people work ham. Freaking the artist Miu, who did Scylla's model, like the model art, she apparently, from what I've been told, she's freaking knocking out models in like less than a week sometimes. But that's probably a lot of hours at once.
The creator of my Live 2D model, Amber Ram, buddy of mine went to go commission her for a Live 2D model and said, "I'm willing to pay you $2,000 for a 3-day rush order."
Oh my god!
And she got it done in 3 days.
What?
For $2,000.
Oh wait, the $2,000 was an upcharge?
Well, the original model cost was $1,100, and then then he like said, "I'll pay you an additional $900 if you get it done in 3 days."
Wow. But yeah, that sort of stuff. For a rush, compensation. If you want something short notice, expect to pay for that. Yeah. No,
most model artists I know, like they don't. I know, and this is specifically ones I know. Don't chip away at the model. It is a block of a month that they are not considered a human. They are completely absorbed into their work, and 5 moon cycles have gone by, and now the model is done. Like, that is how most of the work seems to get done.
There are some people that go pretty darn ham, and there are some that will do it all within the first week or so of doing it, and there are some that block out their time so that they could, especially if they have multiple projects. The person working on my chibi model, Noe. She has a Trello that helps you keep up with her commissions. I saw my model in there because she has them like a this number out of this number. Yeah. I think there's 24 steps in the one I'm waiting for. She, on the Trello, it was at like 4 out of 24 for a good little bit. A couple weeks ago, it went up to 16 out of 24.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it happens. Sometimes people are just like, I want to go on and I want to freaking go balls deep on this one, and they do. Everyone works a little different. So telling them how many hours per week you can dedicate to your role, you might get some numbers you don't want, because everyone works differently at different rates and different levels of intensity.
All of these roles have like wildly different like
demands.
Hours expectations. Mm-hmm. Like if a video editor is only able to give like 4 hours a week, that's probably 4 to 5 shorts typically. Like it typically is like a good editor, and I'm saying a good editor typically gets a short done within an hour.
Eric would be a wonderful person to ask about that. Eric VA, who does the clips for Nat 19 and for Scylla.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he does wonderful clips. His clips are so good.
Discord moderator, that, like, if you're only able to dedicate an hour a week to Discord moderation, you might as well not even be there. To be depending on how active the community is. Which, if it's as popping over there as they want you to believe, you might as well not even be there.
And again, this is also coming from earlier where they said 0 obligation, you can just sit around and do nothing.
No work. You don't even have to do anything.
But you're asking me how many hours per week. What if I do want to be that person that sits by and does nothing, and I put in 0? Is that going to throw out my application?
What if I just
Because I throw out the application. I throw out that application.
What if I just want to be a cool kid, huh? What if I just want access to all the secret channels?
No.
You ever consider that?
No. Communication and work style. This is all volunteer, which means you probably have a job to support yourself. Yeah, but they're also dangling a carrot on a stick, saying that possibly this might become paid work later on.
You might get $1. It's deferment.
You might get some money out of this. You might get a bubble gum. You might get a gumball or two.
It's starting to remind me of all those like VA positions I've seen. They're like, but this is a non-profit project, but if this does really well, we might be able to split money between everyone later down the line. It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure, whatever.
Even if they say that shit, don't apply for the money. Don't apply for the money because
Yeah.
you're not going to see it. You're not going to see
the money.
You're not going to see that money. They do that shit to hopefully maybe get that one person that it's like, I might make a little money out of this. Don't do it. It's bait. It's bait. Promise you, it's bait.
It's bait.
It's bait.
It's bait.
It's
Like-
bait to
it like
seem
them
more.
like
It's bait and makes them see and makes it seem like they're more credible. It's bait. It's the exact opposite. It's bait. Do it because you want to do it, not because of the potential, the promise of maybe getting paid. It's not. You're not gonna see.
I might get $5 out of it.
And PayPal's gonna take it.
how
And
do you-
PayPal's gonna take his cut. So you're not even getting.
How do you
$5.
prefer to give or receive feedback? Please give. Well, what we're seeing right now. How we
Here's
prefer
where you
to
showcase
give
your
feedback.
communication and work style so that we can see if we mesh in terms of our. That's the Discord interview, honey.
That's a Discord interview.
How do you prefer to
Professionally and maturely, duh.
like?
Yeah,
How do you prefer to
duh.
give and
On
receive?
live.
Yeah, I'm guessing this question is supposed to be like, I prefer an email, I prefer a Discord DM, I prefer
a phone call.
in a group chat, blah blah blah. But I feel like they're gonna get different answers than what they're asking for. This is not a clear question.
I prefer live on twitch.tv/squeakychiona.
How do you prefer to give feedback? By carrier pigeon. By
Google
carrier
Doc.
pigeon over
Google
McDonald's.
Doc.
Like yeah, by Google Docky. Like this is not as clear and concise as you think it is. Me when I put my name and
I prefer-
expectation.
I prefer to go through Thieves' Cant using a elaborate series of Uber Eats delivers.
Do you work better independently or collaboratively? Okay, that's fine. Again,
Okay, that's a vague question. I think
it's vague, but it's a generally harmless question. Again, do you prefer to work on your own or collaboratively? Again, most people work on their own. But I guess this is one way to include like art teams, since there are still the occasional art team where like, you know, they
or if
do
you make a music video, right? You get the audio mixer and the producer and the video guy together.
Yeah, so that's a generally all right question. That being said, if they like to work collaboratively, you need to at least ask in the Discord interview, what are you, if you're a collaborative worker, what is the standard, what do you consider a good collaborative partner for this endeavor? Because you can be like, well, again, when I video edit, I sometimes use a lot of 3D assets for special effects and stuff, and I need someone to do that for me. We don't have that.
My expectation is that they respond within 24 hours when I ask a question.
You know, again, it's expectations. How do you handle conflict and disagreements within a team setting?
Horribly. Next question.
Google Doc.
I
will Google Doc
How
you
do you-
to oblivion.
how do you-
Oh, God.
This is kind of also another weird question. See my issue with that same question in the talent one. You're already asking for communication. You're already asking for, you know, professionalism and all that sort of stuff. This kind of seems like a nothing question to help you narrow down whether you want people or not. This is a we need this to get the vibe question, which you already laid out your stakes, and then the Discord interview, this is where you would ask that question. So no, we're at the end. Miscellaneous. If you've made it this far, you're at the home stretch. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We know this application is a bit tedious, but we appreciate you taking the time and energy to fill it out. Are you comfortable signing NDAs if required?
There it
My lady,
is.
it's 5 pages.
NDA.
Why am I
There
so
it
okay?
is.
I get the idea of like an NDA, but like what the hell are we doing that requires an NDA?
Okay. I've been in this position when I had like 0 to no actual portfolio work. Like I'd sign up for game jams, I'd sign up for nonprofits, and the expectation is, okay, I get no monetary compensation, but I get a portfolio piece. Like I get, you know, quote unquote real life experience that I can tell employers about. If I have to sign an NDA, why am I here if I'm not getting paid? Because now you can tell me not to put in my portfolio.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah,
know
no.
what are the NDAs that are going. What are the type of NDAs that are going to be on the table?
Like if as like an artist making a live 2D model for free, mind you, again, they're not
Mhm.
allowed to stream it, they're not allowed to show anyone, they're not allowed to like,
Mhm.
take it outside of certain channels.
Yep.
Like
Usually the idea of NDA is that you're supposed to keep it under wraps because to preserve the integrity of the project. And that usually if they're violated, it means legal action is going to be taken. Because breaking the NDA is to assume breaking the NDA is to assume harm to the projects.
an NDA is not a light thing to throw around.
Yeah,
Like
Legal.
yeah. Usually VTubers do NDAs to just keep things under wraps, and then once it's out, the NDA is lifted, and now the artist could be like, I worked on this. But it's usually so that people keep their mouth shut and that things aren't like publicly shown because you don't want to spoil the surprise. That's most VTuber NDAs.
yeah, just don't talk to your friends about what you're working on. Like,
or don't show
typically-
it to your friends, or don't
don't stream it.
No,
Don't
no
stream it.
friend DA. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. If you are trying to get work for your portfolio, I would never do work, especially not portfolio work, for free. And anytime they want, they can tell me not to talk about it or tell people I did it legally.
No.
Like,
No, agreeing to this does not mean you're agreeing to all NDAs that they're gonna put forward to you automatically, right? So it's still on you to like look over the conditions, look over the terms. But the idea that that this is a general question they're asking everyone, like that, I don't know.
I understand NDAs if you're an artist, and the NDA pretty much comes to please don't share this publicly while it's until debut day. Don't share it publicly in any way. And I totally understand that. That's almost a given nowadays. There are artists that there are some VTubers like myself that don't always care where something is streamed or if the progress is posted on social media. And there are some artists that, charge for NDA. And the idea of an artist charging for an NDA is that usually it's art and progress and work that they're putting time to, and that they're not going to see any like immediate benefit from, if any, once debut day happens.
Yeah. Typically, if they charge for NDA, they're also a streamer artist, and that's like they do their commissions on stream, so you're paying for them to not be streaming it, and that's their compensation. But
I have signed NDAs for projects, and the NDA would not be lifted until the project was complete. My work was done, but the project never got off the ground for XYZ reason.
And you're stuck with it.
And yeah, the only reason I didn't be like, oh, boo, it's because I was paid, so I didn't really care. But I was paid, I was compensated.
That's a clause that you also have to worry about, obviously. Like if something gets canceled, something falls through, that you should be allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's also another thing too why artists also do NDAs, because again, if something happens and let's say you never debut, that artist can't reveal it. Then they still can't reveal it.
Yeah.
Unless you give them the go around, the go around. And again, slightly a little bit unrelated but still related to this. If you're a smaller VTuber, you don't have to don't pay the NDA to an artist.
I assure you, like if they do stream and they're like,
if anything, them publicly doing your commission, especially if you go to to a bigger artist, if you're able to land a bigger artist, if anything, them publicly sharing that they're working on your model is going to do more benefit for you than telling them to keep their mouth shut about it. Free promo for you.
It's entirely dependent on what your scenario is. That's just a side.
it's
bigger
yeah.
bigger streamers, like in the Shy Lily category of bigger streamers, they want stuff under wraps until the day of. But
Yeah.
like if you're just starting out, then you need as much exposure as possible. Fucking just take it.
And you're
Yeah.
saying you're not an agency. You're just an independent group.
Little
what if
silly guys.
like you're just silly little guys? Like you're just silly little birthday boys. Like what do you need an NDA for?
Yeah.
I would not sign any legally binding document personally with these people.
Like aside from working directly with the talent for like art assets and stuff and holding them for debut, what NDAs is the group going to be making you sign? What kind of NDAs are these? Are they just to not show my shit publicly, or is it to not talk about certain things? You need to specify what kind of NDAs people are going to be signing, depending on what role they're applying for. And I feel like, again, the yes or a no, this is another question to narrow out to narrow people down. Anyone that says no, get them out. Throw away the application.
And
This is a trap question, it feels like.
I have enough experience, and like I've frankly been burned enough times where I would never sign this, but like there's new people needing work in their portfolio, and I feel like those are the people who are going to be harmfully impacted if they agree to this.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you don't need anything like this, especially if you're an artist, to make a portfolio. Just draw. Just make art. Draw that thing you like, draw that VTuber you like, draw that video game you like, draw something you saw outside, and then slap it on a site or slap it on your Twitter. Done. You're building a portfolio. Look what you didn't have to do. Apply for this.
Yeah, like join a game jam, apply for a zine.
Yeah.
You know, sign up for a nonprofit where your volunteer work might actually mean something.
Like it's that thing where, again, like when it comes to the creative arts, having a portfolio is very important if you want to take it seriously. And also, the only thing stopping you is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be a musician? Cool, make music. What have you? And then when people ask you, what have you done? There you go, the music you've made. Like literally, when it comes to the creative arts, you are going to be your biggest obstacle on how much you're able to put yourself out there. Because if you don't do shit, you don't got shit.
Yeah, if you don't make anything, you don't get it. If you don't practice, you don't get better. You like, fuck, I don't know if I ever like showed Squeaky, but like I started this whole like content creation shenanigans like doing music. I started it off just being a silly little guy making the shittiest trumpet music you've ever damn heard, and then I started doing orchestral pieces and people really enjoyed them. Like it's you have it took years to get to that point, but it is something that takes effort. It's something that takes time, and it's not something that you can just, especially like you're not going to just get an extra favor out of a small group of people who just ragtag slap shit together and hope to make it big. Like it is all on you at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it is entirely on you.
It's going to be that thing of, if you claim to want to do the thing that you say you like doing and make that your job, it should not be a huge ask to do the thing. I like drawing. Do it.
Just draw.
Okay, you like drawing? Do it. Have something. But
there are gonna be aspects you don't like. We'll be honest on that front. There are aspects of every field that you're not gonna like. I love content creation, 90% of it, but as I always say, I fucking hate making videos. It's the most but it's an important part of the job, so you got to do it anyways.
Yeah.
A lot of artists I know love making art. They hate arguing with commissioner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some people love making art, but they're like, again, maybe they hate doing line art, but they love rendering, and like, you figure it out. It's what are your personal goals or ambitions in working with VFantasy? You asked this question already.
Yep.
Do you agree
Yes,
to the
this is
following
going to
guidelines for our staff teams? I agree. I do not agree.
Why is
This
this-
is another trap.
Why is this all the way? Why is this all the way at the end?
That's another thing too. That should be all the way in the beginning, so that when they say don't agree, you throw out the application and not waste your time.
Is there anything else you'd like to know about your application? That's just more information. That's whatever.
No, you don't need that question. This question is already like 4 pages. What more do you want them to give you?
Like, what more are you expecting?
What?
Like, you should probably, like, I'm actually like a super secret mega artist that this is just my undercover persona.
Like,
just so you know.
Is this also where they write I'm also a VTuber? Like, and also here's another thing too. And this is a weird thing I thought about on the way home when it came to this. Because most people that are going to apply this have some interest in VTubers one way or another. How are you going to ensure that people don't use this as a way to skirt around the auditions?
Exactly. It's
because there are some VTubers that also do things like this, and maybe don't want to audition because they just want to do that thing they like while also kind of being a VTuber. But they all like it. I don't know. How do you know people aren't going to try to kind of like, you know, like fucking sidestep around the auditions? Like, I don't know. It seems a little weird to me.
Mern, do you have anything to say?
I don't
before
apply
I
to
ask you
this.
You don't want to apply this?
Just don't. Like, there are much better ways to get experience, as I've already said. There are so many things that can go wrong so fast, so hard. I wouldn't recommend it personally.
Yeah.
Like, okay, my bardic rant for the day. It may just be the fact that Squeaky, we've been approaching the same amount of time on like actual streaming, right? I think roughly 4 years each.
General-ish.
We may just be fucking old at this point. A lot of these could be solved by either A, having paid attention to the last 6 months to anything that's been going on with like what is groups, what is agencies, what is, you know, any of that, or just asking someone who's been around for longer than a year. Yeah. Because again, as I said, I did a little bit of digging to find out like a little bit more about all of the founders, and most of them are small beginner streamers, at least seemingly on the surface, who I regrettably have no idea what they're actually doing. And it shows both in the documentation and how they present themselves and how they manage their social media. And I genuinely think doing this group is going to kill them. Like, it is going to end everything that they do. It is going to cause more problems than it's worth. It's going to make them hate each other by the end of it. And this is like why I'm complaining about it, right? It's not so much that like, oh, I hate people who try to support others. This is so bullshit. Why are they getting possibly free labor and I'm not? Like, I don't give a fuck about that at the end of the day. It is more of, I hate how quickly people are just wanting to like jump on what seems like a lovely, sweet idea, but they don't consider the ramifications of anything that they're saying or what they're doing, because this is not just like, they're not an agency, but it's very clear they want this to be successful. They want this to blow up. They want to get popular. They want to make money. Yeah, and
the fact that they are growth oriented, like where did they freaking put it? It
was under the professionalism, I think.
Growth mindset.
Yeah, the professional and growth mindset, which means at some point you want this group to grow. The fact that you keep dangling that carrot of you might be paid, if it does well enough, you might be paid. That means that you, in some way, shape, or form, whether you don't want to say it or not, and it seems like you just don't want to say it, because then people will actually call you out on these expectations that you have versus what you're offering. You want to be an agency. You want to be an agency.
Like,
but right now, you know you
like
don't have the resources, so you want to call yourself an indie group that eventually becomes an agency.
Like, it's either complete ignorance to the fact that they don't understand what the fuck they're talking about. Again, within the same sentence saying that there's no requirement, but that is a requirement. And or it's complete malice in the fact that they are willing to onboard people who also have no fucking idea what they're doing and are going to take the labor of people who also have no fucking idea what they're doing. Because again, we had that earlier conversation of like, no one's forcing anyone to work with this team. Like, that's not going to be a thing that happens. But I also heavily believe that putting ideas in people's heads and like getting them hyped up on an idea, on a dream, on a hope is equally as terrible as of just abusing them from the gate outright anyways. And that is why I don't like this group. It's why I don't like 90% of the groups I fucking see. It's why I question every single agency, every talent group, every little production group. If they're not charging money, if they are charging money, if they're made up of the biggest streamers, if they're not, I question everything because this is not a good idea.
Yep. Just like, oh, you need to grow the mindset volunteer because you could be paid one day. So like, okay, so if we don't quote unquote make it, like, is it because I didn't have a growth mindset and
did I not work hard enough? Was this my fault?
Are you gonna blame me?
It's like I literally hear like the same rhetoric from like, frankly, like pyramid schemes
or MLMs.
And, like,
yeah,
you look like a thirsty bitch.
How to put it? Recently, and this is like slightly a sidestep, right? A lot of people are blaming Twitch right now for like a sudden drop in their view accounts, right? Like some people are reporting they lost like 40-60% of their fucking viewers because of the new like bot wave coming in, right?
Yeah.
But like all it's kind of come to show is that how quickly people are to shove off blame for things not going the way they are, other than the fact that they're not entertaining, they're not engaging, they're not doing what they need to be doing. So I think literally if anything were to go wrong with this group, there is a non-zero chance they would blame the volunteers, much like Yandere Dev. They would just blame the volunteers for failing to, put in the amount of effort, sweat, blood, and tears that the talents themselves should have been doing in their stead.
Yep. They take all the credit, you get all the fault.
and it should be the opposite. If you're a project manager, like, everything's your fault.
Unironically, if you are a project manager and something bad happens, it has to be like so out of your control for it to not have been your fault. Like your artist getting ran over by a car, like that's not really your fault.
Yeah, like that you can't really that just happens.
Yeah.
But if you're
within your control.
Yeah, but like if your artist like missed a deadline, there clearly wasn't communication on like either what the deadline was or what their circumstances were or how large the work was. If your editor is not putting out enough shorts per week, are you not giving them enough material? Are they not focusing enough on the work? Are they over editing? Are they under editing? Like, but these are things that are required of a manager of a group to take responsibility for, and I don't foresee anyone in this group taking responsibility for anything at the end of the day.
Well, apparently again, one of the founders was apparently raving on Twitter that they weren't making enough money because they didn't have enough viewers. And again, I don't know what that's all about, and apparently they deleted everything. But like, if you're already doing that, you can't run this. This isn't gonna work.
Not being too much of a bitch, but I'm pretty sure there's not a single founder who has above a 10 CCV. And they want to start a talent group to help upraise like new VTubers into the sphere. And I'm like, you're not even beginning. Like you're
this is
not
the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, like I'm saying that who hovers around 30 to 40 most of the time, right? I still have no fucking idea what I'm doing most of the time.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be leading anyone. I've
only recently been noticing that my streams have been like hitting the 25-30 mark, which is crazy. So like that took a while. And it just I don't know. Grimsley, in general, never do volunteer work that doesn't give you clear outlines of what your job is, like any paid work, and generally stick to volunteer work for not-for-profits you care about. You're doing fine from what I've seen. Red one whose name I'm blanking on. Bard, magical Bard.
Am I doing fine if you can't remember who I am? Clearly not. If I have not left an impression upon you in the first 5 minutes, I have failed you, Eggy.
It's goodness. It's just that thing where.
How dare you?
Might as well while I'm here. It's goodness. I just really like because I don't want to yuck the yum. I don't want to be like, this is shit. This is gonna freaking.
This is terrible. This is shit. It's a bad idea.
This is gonna be dead on arrival, but its chances are not looking good. Its chances are not looking good.
If I was gonna be realistic here, okay, if I'm being honest, if I'm being realistic, if I'm being as fair as I possibly can, right? If we took the percent chance that in 1 year this group is successful, the talents are happy, and the company is thriving, and we took that percent and rounded it to the nearest whole number, it would still be 0.
And at that point, it's not because of them, it's because of the talents. Because as we've learned from the fucking implosion of VShojo, it's not the company that makes the talents, it's the talents that make the company. The talents are what's going to be carrying mostly everything on their back, while the managers and the artists and stuff, they are the cogs, and the streamer is the one that makes sure the machine is running. I don't know. I don't know if that's the proper way to word it.
The two people I would say that have not as much impact, obviously, because they need material to work with, but artists and video editors make up a lot of the channel off of offline, right? Like on stream, it's entirely the talent. But especially in the modern space where a lot of people are encouraging you to multi-post and build audiences elsewhere and bring everyone to your streams, those people also have a heavy hit, but you still need to be entertaining enough for their work to matter.
It works like a triangle. The artists and the creatives make the VTuber makes the company.
And the company takes the money and maybe pays the creator.
And then the company
steals from charity.
Maybe try and a triangle. It's a nice weird. It's a 3-bullet line. I don't fucking know, bro.
It's a 3-bullet line, and the talents are for some reason not at either end.
Yeah, the streamers are what make a company famous from the POV of the viewers. But if we're being real, it's the other way around. The streamers can only do what they normally do solo. And again, with the previous application, they're still being hey, you still own your IP. Hey, you can still do this. Hey, we won't ask for a cut of your money. Yada yada da 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 da. And it's well, yeah, you fucking better not.
You're a group, not an agency.
Yeah, you're a group, not an agency. You would only bring that up unless you were planning on doing something about it.
What it reads to me is that they've seen all these agencies fail, and they think they have the revolutionary idea of, what if we did this, but no money was involved, and we just stopped having the evil influence of Satan in our lives.
But let's also open the possibility that Satan can come in with the money.
Satan might be allowed to come visit on the holidays, maybe.
If you have a growth mindset, then maybe Satan can come with the child support.
It's just this weird thing where it's they seem to want to slap indie group on it because it removes the idea that that they're a company, that they're an agency. The idea of money is removed from the equation. Because at the end of the day, they're just a bunch of indies who banded together to do a collective idea. But again, once money starts becoming an issue and you're talking about people's cuts and any sort of compensation, that's where you start skirting the line. That's where you're no longer just a little indie thing. Again, you're going into business, you're going into a company, you're becoming for profit. And that's where you need to really start establishing and reinforcing the lines of what you are versus what you aren't. And it doesn't seem like they're willing to do this. They want to blur the line.
Yeah, it's very have your cake and eat it too. Like,
and you can't do that with this.
It's like we're avoiding the language of agency, so that way we're not accountable for anything. But if it goes well, then it goes well, guys. It benefits us. But if it doesn't, well, we're just a bunch of little guys. We weren't a business.
Yeah, and typically, I feel like what they're trying to do, and unfortunately I don't watch a lot of VTubers, so anyone who does is free to give their input on what they think is going on.
Hi, what's up?
Vichiban.
Vichiban. Okay. Okay, continue.
No, I was gonna say I don't know. I don't watch the streamers that are in Vichiban. And as far as I know, they are according to BuffPup, they are not an agency. They are a VTuber group.
They are. They are
they do
a group of friends. Yep, they are a group of friends who all like each other, and they make content together. And that content, I'm pretty sure if it makes money, they split it directly, evenly between each other. No negotiation, no are you really worth that much kind of conversation. It's that if it makes money, it's just shared between all of them.
Yeah.
But they're all individually successful themselves anyway.
Yeah. They're Vichiban is essentially the ideal at the moment indie VTuber group. They're all indies.
They all have their own editors. They have their own artists. They have their own money. They just like doing stuff together.
Yeah. The only time Vichiban, the group, is in the equation is when they're doing anything together. When it comes to certain con appearances, it's either BuffPup coming as BuffPup or Vichiban and all the members. There is a distinct line of when it is the group and when it is the indie. And then, like you said, they split all their, and when it comes to earnings as a group, it's split within the group. Earnings as the individual goes only to the individual. Sort of like Summoners Network. So I talked a little bit about this on the other application. Summoners Network is a very is a very weird case. Because even though Deco makes money through his games and the things he does, we do not get compensated for that. We do not see that money. Deco tried to do that once upon a time, very early on, but people started asking for their money. Some people were like, we're such a small channel, I don't really care for my cut. And then people were like, well, I need my cut by this day or I can't make a bill. And
some people got reliant on it.
And then there were times where, Deco didn't make anything, but he had already said he'd be giving people at least this much a month, and it created tensions in the group. It created tension and some resentments in the group. To the point where Deco was like, hey, if you're gonna be a part of my games, they are a volunteer thing. I will be providing art assets and things for your characters and stuff, and they'll be coming out of my pocket. All you need to do is be there. Anything else is on you. Which is also why Deco normally doesn't care if I get like a commission of my characters in the game and choose to sell them, because it's whatever. That's also why you don't really see a lot of like Summoners Network merch for the games, because he doesn't pay us for our characters' appearances anyway. So and knowing Deco is not a very business-oriented person. He just wants to kind of keep things hands-on. He literally just wants a group of friends. So, and on top of that, most of the quote-unquote members of Summoners Network, out of all of the members, the ones really going out there and making content consistently are me, Deco, maybe Jill, and Anthony here and there has done streaming. I don't really count Anthony in this case because he's very, very much more casual about it. So and Jester hasn't streamed in a while and mostly did things under his own branding, completely separate from the Summoners Network, so he also kind of doesn't count. So we don't really do anything as Summoners Network. I wouldn't call us a content creator group. I say that I'm a member of the Summoners Network because I am a regular in a lot of their stuff, but even then, that's kind of like that's kind of like just a thing where it's like you can find me there, and also because I use the Discord to kind of host, you know, where my streaming and my general community is. But if my little corner of the internet got big enough where I was pulling in like big CCV and had a lot of people that wanted specifically for me, that's when I would actually have to consider whether or not I want to have a Discord or not, because I don't want to conflate, you know, the game stuff with my stuff. Which is also why I don't always push the Discord and be like, join the Discord, blah, 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 because, again, we don't just, and that's also why we have our certain, like, pings and roles a certain way, because we don't want someone who just comes in for me. I wouldn't push the Discord on them because, they're gonna be getting pings for all the other things while they get me, like, during the weekend. You might as well just follow my Twitter, or when you follow Twitch, just keep the bell on so you're notified when I'm live, and things like that. It's a hangout. We're just purely a group of friends. Vichiban, I'm sure they do all their thing through their Discord too, but probably managed a bit more professionally than we do. We just kind of run the shit. I would say Nat 19 is a better example of a friend group that has become a business while still kind of being within that friend group, kind of in that like Game Grumps, Rooster Teeth sort of thing. It's like
because they have
it's a company founded by friends.
Attendance. Yeah.
And and everyone in Nat 19 in some way, shape, or form is a content creator. Aaron streams and does voiceover. Logan, he does the Nat 19 as a DM, as the writer for Somnus Domina. He is the director and the main writer for the abridged parodies he does, and also does voiceover. The people of Something Witty that are also part of Nat 19, guess what? They do Something Witty. Me, I'm a streamer. Scylla, Hayden, they're a streamer and doing their own thing. They're also a professional voice actor. We're all doing something. But then we also come together as Nat 19. And, you know, yes, there is money involved. There has been discussions of money involved. There's something somewhere along the line in writing. You know, and we talk about things because we also all know each other. So there's already that pre-established trust. This does not have that. You don't know these people. You don't know what you're agreeing to. You don't know who you're agreeing to be working with.
There's not that bond already made.
Like,
you're being told to work with a bunch of strangers that you've never met. You don't know if you vibe with them. You don't know how they're going to act around you. And you're being told that the reason it works for things like HoloLive and Niji Sanji is because there are contracts and shit involved. You know that you're only going to learn who these people are at the very end of the line once you're all in. And then you're given the time to vibe and see how you are with these people and establish maybe a dynamic and get to know each other. But you're already there and you're already getting paid. And they are your coworkers. In this, they're supposed to be your friends, but you don't even know if you like them yet. And you're going to be stuck with them.
Your brand is going to be tied to them. And guess what? If you leave, it's going to be drama. It's going to be drama. Everyone likes the drama.
There might be drama. It's something that they really don't want, but it's Injustice Streams and Acts 2. Yeah, the main point drill is everybody does something. I'm not going to go down the line because there are a lot of people in that 19, and that we all do a lot of shit.
But it's like when I was going over the talent audition, right? I opened up with the conversation of can anyone tell me the difference between a group, an agency, and a production agency? And it's a whole fucking ordeal trying to sort and part them out together. And this is an agency. They want to be an agency. They just don't want the legal
responsibility that comes with being one,
and the societal expectation that gets that's the reason we tacked on to agencies.
Yeah, I will so I didn't go over it because I wrote this after last week's stream, but we did go over when one of the founders, Kore, I don't know, I'm gonna call her Core for now. But when she answered my thing, we went over this, and I was like, okay, I said this wasn't good enough. I never went over what I replied with because I did this again all after stream. So just quickly for context, I'll go over my issues with the audition application since now.
Unfortunately, Squeaky, it is getting to about 3:30 in the morning,
Yes.
and I do have to wake up in 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
So the I want you to know, thank you for letting me join.
Of course.
To all the budding little baby streamers who are maybe listening, don't join a fucking team. Don't do it. Just don't join one.
Make a
happens,
team with your friends. Don't look for one to join.
If one happens, so be it. Like it's great. It's way better that way than like hunting for like the next like socks agency that you're gonna be a part of, right? Which I didn't even start talking about like the like my conspiracy theories I have going on, but that's beside the point. The Mern, it's nice to meet you. Possibly for a second time. Squeaky, thank you for letting me bitch and moan and complain and be a salty old man on your stream.
Of course.
I will be waiting for them to blow up and yell at you, and I'll probably respond to that Tuesday.
If they choose to, I don't know if they're going to answer me. Obviously I'm probably going to construct my little thread as I said I would, and they can go with that as they wish. I don't know how they're gonna answer. They're gonna probably try to be professional. I'd like to hope, because again, Core's first response to me was all right, was nicely worded, and one can see it as pretty professional, but it was a lot of unprofessional answers. Yeah.
But anyways, that's my whole point. The human body needs a minimum of 6 hours of sleep. Wrong. It needs as much sleep as I give it, and an equivalent amount of coffee. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Go to bed, hun. Have a good one. All right. Heckin'. Now that Bard's gone, I'm just gonna take Maroon and move you a little closer over here. Gotta be another place for sleep. So yeah, when it came to their audition form, she had asked what were the red flags. And again, my red flags were the fact that they keep saying they're not an agency, while promising to provide the things that an agency offers. The fact that they insisted that people follow them under the idea that it shows that they are committed to supporting the brand, which then implies that if they're not following, that the application is going to be thrown out.
Silly.
Which is very silly, because it's like, especially with how long their applications are, like they already filled it out. How much more, how much more, like, what more do you need to get an idea that they want to do something with your brand?
I've only seen that rule in giveaways, and that's why I have an alternate account for giveaways.
Which is funny, because most people that do those, they don't like those. They don't like giveaway accounts. They don't like people like retweeting and reblogging and following with giveaway accounts. But I mean, as long as you don't say it, how are they gonna know, you know? That's
why my username is not a giveaway account.
They'll never know.
They'll never know.
But it is very weird. Again, it's like the follows how we know people are genuinely interested. That's what your application is for. Then the fact that the application is very bloated, a lot of kind of questions that don't really need to be there, some of them being very invasive, like again, have you been in previous drama? You don't need to ask that, and if you must ask it once they've once there's a possibility that they'll actually be joining. Once you've shown an interest in them, maybe ask that question. That's a second date question at least. the fact that they didn't properly explain the splits. They just said, if this is your split. If that, this is the split. If that, this is the split. Not really giving a proper example, just to kind of give more clarity. And what is your third party merch? What, like, are you going to Uwu? Are you going to Vyoshi? Are you going to, you know, Kawa? Are you using Fourth Wall? How is the merch split going to be going? The fact that they were going to be offering, they were going to be handing out rejection notices. So if you didn't make the cut, you were going to get a rejection email, and that's how you know, because they didn't want to leave people hanging, which is already, with your bloated application, a waste of time. Sending every individual person a rejection email when you can just say, hey, if you don't see an email from us in this amount of time, you didn't get in. We're sorry. The fact that they were saying that they would close the auditions if they felt that there was a large influx, for how much they keep weighing on professionalism, that is the most unprofessional thing you can do when you're holding auditions.
No, absolutely not.
Is that saying you might close them early if you get too many? That already shows if you can't even expect a large influx of applications, you're not ready to do all the other shit that comes. If you can't even make it hold a deadline, you can't do this. It's the most unprofessional thing you can do with anything that requires an audition is close them.
That is such a faux pas. Like I've held casting calls, and I know people who have, like, in the game jam space, and closing auditions early is a massive sign of disrespect.
Yeah.
Because frankly, like on like my end of things, I usually expect the most auditions on the first couple days and then the last couple days.
Yeah. And sometimes your hard-hitting auditions are like the last-minute ones.
Oh yeah, like because then people will see, like, oh, I have until, let's say, August 10th. Okay, well, I have obligations, but I can totally get in by August 10th. And then I'm like, oh, well, I actually closed early because
the line was too long.
I felt vibes.
Like,
so
you shouldn't shut the door because you shouldn't shut the door because you didn't expect so many people to turn up. Like, that's kind of an expectation you have to unfortunately be ready for. And the fact that you're saying that we'll close it early if we get too many shows that you're not ready. You're not prepared for that, and you need to be. You need to be. And then when it says, like, you know, if you have a time frame, stick to it. Life happens as your application and requirements for talents to disclose large periods of times that they can't stream. That was another thing too. They, on their thing, they were like, if you're a talent with us, you need to let us know if you're going to be going large portions of time without streaming. Why? Is this a job?
Why?
Am I calling
fire me?
What? And if I don't?
What then?
Like what? Like, because they were also like, we won't ask for any personal information that you're not willing to give us. The fucking shit that gets in the way of my life that maybe results in me not being able to stream for a long period of time, I don't have to give you that. No. To which Core answered, I also, another thing I mentioned where I was like, also, they actually cleared up a lot of it. They were reblogging a bunch of random stuff on their main Twitter, which made finding anything impossible. I told them, hey, big peeve, if I was a potential applicant and I was trying to look for your FAQs or where your audition thing is, can't fucking find it. Clean out the fucking Twitter. You don't need that. You don't need memes. You don't need silly shit posts. You don't need that. Also another thing with the freaking follow requirement. I point that out later, but Claire pointed out the main thing. The requirement of a follow feels like a really easy way to artificially inflate your numbers and artificially inflate your reach. It's pretty much like buying view bots.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is a red flag in and of itself too. But yeah, so for merge splits, they were like, we made a post about it, and I was like, yeah, I said that's not good enough. Then they put here, to further go into this, merch itself is handled through Fourth Wall. That would have been really nice to put that in there, but you didn't do that, and you know you did that with a purpose. For other connections, like places with like Uwu and VLOL, we'll be taking it on a case-by-case basis. What does that mean? But merch connections is handled by the talents that request it, which means the talents have to freaking go out of their way to do that. Why? I would rather just, why can't they just do it?
Yeah.
We have no control over what splits they get, and we receive no money. The only money we receive is through our own run Fourth Wall account. Yeah, when it comes to if they come in and they're like, I want to work with Uwu Market, they're gonna tell you, go talk to Uwu Market. We can't do that yet. No. When it came to Core's answer to my previous things, they again reiterated, not an agency. However, that doesn't mean that we don't want to help people we bring in with things we can help with. Things like connecting them to merch groups, finding artists, and giving support. Those first two things, they can go do themselves. The merch groups and merch opportunities, literally, you're using a Fourth Wall. Why can't they just do their own? And finding artists, VGen is for that. It's so easy now to find an artist with sites like VGen. So easy. You don't need that. You say finding artists, but now you say finding artists, you don't have artists. You literally made a form for that.
You mean the unpaid volunteers you picked up off the street? That was like artists?
And then it's like, none of this requires a contract. It should. If you're promising that, it should. Not like Shy Lily V Shoujo. Because we're not accepting money from them. Yeah, you're making for the art assets and stuff, you're making them volunteer. But I'm sorry, like, you should be paying them for that. If you're gonna have them be on house, you're asking for in-house artists, you're asking for contractors. Me as an artist, the fuck is a VGen? So you know what VGen is. I've told you a little bit about VGen, hun, but if not, I can always talk to you about it later. Then they were like, then they tried to justify the required follow. Yeah, a follow can seem silly, and if it's something that bothers people, we could understand and revoke that. But to us, it means you support us and want to see us, more than as just a potential group to join. That is exactly what you are right now. Who are you?
Why? What other reason? We're not friends.
We're not friends. I don't know you. You are. That is exactly what you are. You are a potential group to join. I don't know like what you are, and you haven't done anything.
It's like in interviews. It's like, oh, like, you're only in here for the money. Like, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh no, it's mostly just agreeing with you. Again, like, there's no trust. Who are you? What have you done? And why should I hold you as anything other than a potential group to join? What have you don't have anything to show for why I should see you as any, like, one of the questions was like, what does joining VFantasy mean to you? Nothing. You are nothing right now. You haven't done anything. You're just an up-and-coming group. You don't, with apparently streamers that are still relatively small and growing. It's the blind leading the blind. What does it mean to me? Nothing. You haven't done anything. If anything, you're going to be on my back. Here's a counter question. What can you do? What can you actually do for me that I can't do on my own? So they freaking said, yeah, so, and they put here, and we think that small gesture is a big one. Again, so then if I fill out your application and I don't follow, is that going to get my application thrown out? You didn't answer that question. And then they tried to justify the invasive questions where, you know, we have to ask about past lives because we've experienced issues with that. If the question goes unanswered, that's fine. No, it's not, because you made it a required question. And then they're like, because I also said, like, save it for the interview if you have to ask that. And they're like, which is it? Do you want us to ask it or not? And it's like, you're cherry picking. You didn't read my question. And then when I was like, audition video, why aren't you asking for the audition video? That's the best way to make sure that someone is genuinely interested in your thing, an audition video. And they're like, we're not an agency. We're not going to make them do a recording for 3 to 5 minutes for something that they could answer in less time by writing it out. Funnily enough, writing it out, in the time that I'm filling out your application, I can write a script, hit OBS, and read that script, and that is my audition video. I can do the bare minimum. I can do the bare minimum of a Babu audition tape in less time than it takes me to fill out your fucking application.
They just don't want to go through the labor of watching all those videos.
But they're willing to read essays?
Yeah.
No. And then they put here, and then again, this fucking line here. We judge based on the person, not on if they can take a pretty video. Respectfully, get off your fucking high horse.
That's a cop-out. I'm sorry.
That is
no.
This is such a fucking bullshit line. A pretty video.
Okay, but like, you guys, like, that is a very important part of like being a personality online, a content creator.
Yeah. We want our content creators to not have to make, we don't want to have to ask our content creators to make content. What do you mean? What? We judge based on the person. This is such a, it gives such a, it's so, and again, this is, I'm really trying not to like assume maliciousness, but this is such a snarky, snobby answer.
Yeah. Like, if we don't want to assume maliciousness or ill intent, then at the, like, the most generous we can assume is it's by someone who has no business in a leadership position, at least not yet, at least not to this level. Like
you want artists, but you don't require a portfolio. You want talents, but you don't want to see what they can do. Like, I don't understand. You want to give out a job, but you don't want to go through job applications. Like, I don't understand. And again, just the whole we judge based on the person. You want them to write essays in a time where ChatGPT is rife and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
No. And then the rejection, the merch thing. When it came to the don't do the rejection thing, the rejection things, that's a waste of time. They're like, yeah, no, we can probably consider that. Then they put, we're just 3 people. We didn't expect to get a lot of applications because this group came out of nowhere. Yeah, I can fucking tell. Basically, but the amount we have is a lot for us. 3 tiny little VTubers just trying to make something fun for the community.
No, that's no. You want it both ways.
No. Then they're like, 2 of us have lives and families outside of this, and the other one can go through tens and tens of application, but if we think we need to close them, we have to. We can't pay someone to look through them and sort through it the way we might want to if we get oodles of people applying. I don't think it's unprofessional to express a need to close things for our own mental health.
It's professional when you're closing it before the deadline you said was the deadline.
It was like, no, it's very unprofessional because it shows you're not ready. It shows you don't know what you're doing. It shows you don't have expectations or confidence.
Like, yeah, no one's paying you to go through all these auditions. Like, yeah, that is your responsibility that you agreed to when you did a call for them.
Yeah. That, like, this is an expectation you should have, like, this is something you need to be aware that you're going to have to do when you do stuff like this. And then they're like, we hope this cleared we cleared this up. Oh, well, and I'm just like, again, this is what I wrote out off stream after everything. And I said, unfortunately, some of these answers don't really set my mind at ease. I will leave one last list of my concerns based on your answers. I could very well be looking at things from too professional or too businessy of a lens. After this, I'll drop it and wish you all well with the endeavor. I will warn you, my gloves are off, but I will still do my best to be cordial. That being said, it's been established several times you're not an agency, and I want to believe you. What brings me concern is, again, the promises that you are offering with nothing resembling a contract out of your own pockets feels, quote-unquote, from the goodness of our hearts, and when the merch split is involved, it again concerns me. Let me preface this. I did see your post about the merch split. I said it wasn't good enough and that it should have already been disclosed that group merch will be fulfilled by Fourth Wall, and anything else is case by case and on the talent. So really, it doesn't seem like you're really in a position to offer anything other than the Fourth Wall, which isn't nothing, but it doesn't really sound like quote-unquote merch opportunities as you list in your posts. But let's stay on Fourth Wall for a bit, because as of right now, Fourth Wall has no way to disperse cuts of revenue among multiple accounts without personal banking information given. You have said that you are going to split things among the talent and the team depending on how the merch works. But Fourth Wall uses Stripe and handles payouts directly to bank accounts, and you've already said that you are not asking for personal information. How are you going to ensure that everyone gets their even cut? Because the only way you can put multiple, because I've checked this, you can put multiple bank accounts in Fourth Wall, but you need the banking information. It does not accept PayPal. It only accepts PayPal when you are a customer buying from a store. So I said I put that here. It goes through Stripe, pays directly to bank accounts, which means profits would need to go to one person who then has to divide it up to the group and talents as per the cut, probably via PayPal, which will also take its cut. And with no contract to ensure or way to ensure proper funds go out, you're pretty much saying, trust me, bro, with money, which anyone with even basic business will tell you is not the best idea. To avoid embezzlement, a new bank account would have to be created to ensure those funds don't go anywhere that is not the hands of those who earned it.
Yeah, my question is like, okay, like let's use October as an example. I love October. I met October on a very completely separate, unrelated project. So let's say I like working with October. I love October. I want October to make something for me. And I decided to like upload it onto my personal platform and not the group's. Will I get in trouble for that? Will they expect a cut because I'm using an artist I met through them?
The lines aren't drawn and it leaves so much to interpretation and assumption. And I know they say, well, just ask us. You could also just be transparent and put everything down in writing so that most of my questions will be asked to ahead of time, because I'm the kind of person that asks multiple questions, and sometimes I ask questions over and over again because I need further validation. And I know I'm not the only one. I quoted them. But to us, it means you support us and want to see us, more than just as a potential group to join. It means you'd like to support us even if you're not chosen, and we think that small gesture is a big one. That was from Cora's reply. And I said, that's not how this works. Follows are not everything. At the moment, you're a budding VTuber group that no one knows and has no reason to trust. The hard truth of the matter is that a potential group to join is exactly what you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right now, you do not have any of the credentials to be seen as anything else but that. Do you have the names that have garnered trust within the community, the funding, the reach? No. Most of the people following you are doing so because you have made it a requirement to even get looked at in the first place. It's no different than buying follows or someone hosting a giveaway, because all it does is artificially inflate your numbers and extend reach, so it gives the appearance of being bigger than you actually are. And once people see they didn't move on, they'll likely just unfollow. And then what? Do they get blacklisted from your group because they didn't believe in you? What are you going to do when they unfollow you? Are you going to assume that they didn't care, are you going to say that, well, they didn't really care about us, when the reason they unfollowed is because they didn't make it through, so there's no reason to be following you anymore?
If it's not just outright we want to inflate our numbers, it's insecurity. It screams insecurity.
And then when it came to the answer to we've had issues in the past, so that's why we're asking the drama question. I said no. I find it hard to believe that because they also use the idea of, well, we've seen other applications and group ask this in the past. I said no. I find it hard to believe that other groups have asked the question or to potential applicants if they have had scandals in the past. I have applied for agencies, groups, and simply look at applications for fun, as I did with yours. I have seen people ask about past lives, since VTubers like to rebrand, but never explicitly if they they've been in public disputes online like your form asks. Also, you say they don't have to answer, then why is it a required question? If they chose to write prefer not to answer or not applicable, what's to say you won't throw out their application? And then quote unquote, and about saving it for an interview, that's still just asking the question, which you seem to have an issue with in the first place. Do we ask it or not? Said the straight answer, no. But it seems like you want to ask it again because it's required on your application. So if you really want to ask it, at least save it for once you have a list of talents you're interested in and can vet more properly. But again, if it was up to me, no. No. When it came to their reply about the audition video and why they justify that they don't do it, and, you know, we judge based on the person, not if they can make a pretty video, I said, Alara's Waifu is not an agency, it's a VTuber group. They asked for an audition video. Several groups have asked for an audition video because VTubing is content creation, and if a 2 to 5 minute video that, as I stated previously, can be as simple as recording oneself on OBS is too hard, then sadly that applicant is not yet ready for VTubing with the intent of making it their career. I've seen audition videos of just stream clip compilations. You're telling me that's too hard? It's called having standards. You can't get a proper feel for their content without seeing their content. I also said as well that an audition video trims out a lot of the questions that's on their application because they can answer it in that audition video. Who are they? What do they do? What are they interested in? What are they, you know, looking forward to doing? What does joining VFantasy mean to them? You can answer all of that with a really nice audition video in 3 to 5 minutes. So again, the quote, we judge on the person, not on the video, on the pretty video. I said, no, you want to judge them on how much of a pretty essay they can write you in a time that's rife with AI. How are you going to counter the possibility that they used AI? What if they write their answers with it? How are you going to tell? How is a pretty essay supposed to tell you they're a good person? How would you know they're not lying? You know that people lie. If people lie in job applications, people can lie on these. What is stopping them, and how are you going to discern whether they're telling the truth or not?
Mm-hmm. Even if they did write it, like, writing good responses is different than video creation. It's different than your on-stream presence.
Yeah. Like, there are people that do very wonderful video essays that might not have the most, like, structured writing. Because they're different skills. Being a good talker and being a good writer aren't one for one. And like a pretty essay is not going to tell me someone is good at what they do and that they take content creation seriously more than an audition video. It won't. It just doesn't. They put here, I put here, you say you're 3 tiny little VTubers with jobs and families and don't have the time to go through applications and might have to close them early if there's too many for mental health. The thing is, it's not going to be the quantity of the applications. It's going to be how much bloat there is in the application itself. It's going to take so much more time reading essays over watching 2 to 5 minute videos. If it gets too much, you apologize and extend the time frame. Again, you could be missing out on wonderful applicants because they found you guys too late. You want to be professional, but immediately counteract it with the most unprofessional thing to do when holding auditions. Then they put here, I quoted them, the whole like, I don't think it's unprofessional to close things early because of mental health. It's very unprofessional. It shows you're not ready. It means you didn't look. It means you didn't use foresight. It's not a bad thing, but if you can't sort through audition forms, how is anyone supposed to believe that you can keep this group running in the long run? Well, it's because they have a whole other application for people to maintain it for them. Which no, if you're already looking for people to push the job onto, you're not ready for this. You just want to say that you own something and do nothing about the upkeep. You're a little kid that asks for a dog and mommy takes care of it. Like, come on. What are you doing? I said here, what was once one of the biggest names in VTubing imploded in 3 days because of bad money handling. And I didn't even get into how this audition doesn't even guarantee good chemistry within the current group and new talents, something so vital to longevity. I said, I apologize if it's harsh, but this is the reality. I advise to think on things carefully, especially the things involving monetary distribution. I'm not saying this is someone who's trying to punch down and wants things like this to fail, because I've seen so many before go nowhere and fall on themselves. And then I said, you know, if they want to consider it, it's up to me. Like I mentioned with my original post, I don't plan on applying. Hopefully things work out. They never answered me. They never replied to me. I kind of wasn't expecting one because, again, I'd be very surprised to see how they argue this, but again, their initial answer was just a lot of trust me, bro, trust me, bro, trust me, bro. No, I pretty much all but explicitly said, I don't trust you. You need to show that you're worth trusting with this. And unfortunately, VFantasy is not doing that. VFantasy is not doing that. I feel like if you want to apply for them, go for it. Expect nothing from them, whether you get in or not. Expect nothing from them. You'll have collab partners, and that's nice. And you might have a sense of a little bit of a belonging and a community that might be interested. But expect nothing. Don't expect your numbers to go up. Don't expect a huge influx of people. Don't expect merch to fly off the shelves. Expect nothing. Because right now, as much as they want to promise things, they're offering nothing. They want to be an agency and have none of the response, and they want to have all the professionalism and the credentials and the promises that an agency offers, but have the little fun indie group amount of responsibility, which is none of it. In genuine good conscience, if you want to apply for this, go for it, but I cannot recommend either auditioning for them or applying for their volunteer stuff. They've gotten no blowback. I say blowback, but they've gotten no one really questioning their audition thing. You know, people are just like, oh yeah, I'll give it a shot, you know, blah blah blah. That's mostly what you're gonna get. I have no one in the quote retweets is questioning things, because again, they're just excited about the idea of joining this fun, cute little group, but no one's really questioning that. The blowback, quote unquote blowback, that they are getting is for the volunteer shit, because again, this is actual work that they want you to do for free. This is where, and I'll better late than never to really be asking these questions. But I hope that the people who are asking these questions also look back to the auditions and be like, wait a minute. Because again, it seems like they really just want to be an agency but have none of that responsibility. And again, maybe don't use the term hiring. Maybe, you know, no offense, but why are you quote unquote hiring people if you don't have the funds? It's no good. Mm-mm.
Because we are hiring catches more attention than seeking unpaid volunteers.
Yeah. And yeah, it does, like Krebs said, it has bad "we're like a family" vibes. Again, they don't want contracts. They don't want contracts. They don't have money. They want to be professional. They have expectations, and they make promises. Nothing in writing. The money is a well, maybe. And it's all trust me, bro. And unfortunately, whether they mean well or not, again, I want to assume that they mean well. I have seen many who have done this exact thing and have been malicious. There was one called Hero Factory that eventually, when all the talents, apparently the head was doing some weird shit, and essentially not really doing. I can't remember the exact thing, so I can't speak. But Hero Factory was a funny little indie group / agency. Money went places that it shouldn't have gone, and everyone had a statement. The freaking founder got hard canceled, and they're gone now. That was someone who was trying to take advantage of people excited and really wanting to be a part of something. You want to be a part of a VTuber group? Find friends in the VTuber community, develop bonds with these people, get to know them and establish trust, and then make your VTuber group with who you have, who you know, and who you trust. There you go. That's how you make a VTuber. That's how you'll make a VTuber group that will not only be fun, but when it becomes something more, you at least have the trust that the people that are on your side, that the people that you are with aren't going to fuck you over. You don't know these people.
Oh yeah, Dan. No, rev share is such a red flag. Never agree to rev share.
One of the main reasons I stopped looking to get comic artist commissions was because all the ones that appeared were the ones that would only pay if the comic gets sales. Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, I will probably, I might actually do my because we've gone for about 3 hours. I might do my funny reply to this off stream. The main notes that I have to say again when it comes to this thing, you don't keep promising, but you keep bringing up the possibility that it will be paid. Do not do that. The fact that you use hiring instead of volunteers, it feels like bait. The fact that you don't require a portfolio. The fact that some of the expectations, like again, for example, artists including but not limited to, like that means that if the artist is willing to do this, you are expecting them to give free live 2D art or rigging. No. No. I don't think so. I don't think so.
And we can assume there's no malicious intent, but even if they do mean everything they say and they believe it, they're still way in over their head and people are going to get burnt in the end.
You're gonna, because of what they're asking for, I'm sure they've got some people that have already like an expectation that this is gonna be their ticket to being a big VTuber, and it's like, bro, you got one of the founders complaining that she doesn't make enough money streaming. Like, if the people behind this can't even support themselves with what they're doing, how are they going to support you? How are they going to help you? It is the blind leading the blind. This is why the agencies that are still around, like Hololive and Niji Sanji and Phase Connect, when they hold auditions, first off, they already have a standard that they know they want. The reason they ask for your general reach and they want to see your social media, because they want you need to convince them that you are worth the investment, that you are going to be able to return their investment in some way, shape, or form. That's why, with VShojo, when people were like, oh, well, only Zen's friends get in. Yeah, because if true, well, yeah, because, and the company was looking for, asking big VTubers like Shy Lily to join. Yeah, because Shy Lily is a trusted name in the VTuber sphere. She brings with her that reach and that success and all those credentials. like it. I don't know. I don't know. This is not going to be a VTuber's big break as much as they think it might be. It could work out. It could, but I am finding it very hard to see it possibly working out. And again, so if people do apply to this, good luck to them, but don't think that passing this audition is your golden ticket. It's not. Keep doing what you're doing, building your brand, familiarizing yourself with who you are as a VTuber and what you bring to the plate, building your repertoire, building your reputation, or if you're an artist or a musician, keep building your portfolio, keep creating the thing you want to do, because your own efforts are going to get you so much further than this group will. They are going to be able to say that they have you, but they're going to take the credit for everything you've done. Like that's also why they use like portfolio building and stuff, because it's like look what you've done for them, and it's like, oh no. I think with that, I think that's everything I have to say about this. Any closing thoughts on all this aside from don't do it?
Well, with that caveat,
or do you just want to reiterate, don't do it?
I know I wouldn't.
Yeah. That being said, depending on how things go, I think I'm not saying depending on things go. I think after seeing both of these applications and seeing the red flags, I think I am fully prepared to enter my that person arc, where anytime someone brings up a VTuber application or I find one, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to dissect it, I'm going to discuss it, in the hopes that either whoever I am talking about looks at what they're offering and fixes it, or they don't. I think I think I'll be doing more stuff like this whenever I see it. Now, will someone be willing to listen to the 3-hour stream of us like going on about this? Gmaybe not. But it will be out there for those who want to listen to it. They're gonna hate to see me coming. Because I will absolutely quote retweet and be like, we're gonna talk about this. Should you apply? Because again, most people see auditions and flips and they just kind of get excited. They just write everything down and they don't think about what it means if they actually get in. And if a more critical lens looks at this and helps them form a more informed decision, I'll be that person. They can come to me with the flack or block me or say that I'm starting shit and that I'm punching down. Sure. Go for it. If that's how they want to paint me, that's whatever. If whatever we talk about here helps someone decide whether or not this is for them. Because again, you can listen to everything we just said today and be like, no, I'm still gonna apply anyway. Okay. This is just, again, a more a critical analysis, looking at these things and judging from that, again, from a more professional business standpoint. Again, having like the insight that you have, Maroon, being very valuable here. Having those other opinions of like, is this worth it or not? Is this a group that is ready for this responsibility? Is it someone that's trying to take advantage of people? Or is it someone that, you know, has a legitimate thing that they're going for? Like, Waifu, when I auditioned for Waifu, the only reason I auditioned for Waifu is because there was a bigger VTuber who was in the community long enough, had the standing and the clout and, you know, the presence that she could make it work. That's why I auditioned, because it was like, it's being hosted by someone who has a presence, who has credibility, who could probably make this work. And that's what you have to look at with these. Who's doing it? But yeah, I think I've yapped enough. I was originally not going to stream today, but after you sent me this, I was like, oh, I gotta talk about this.
Yeah,
I gotta talk about this.
Yeah, like, oh man, I could be stirring the pot, but like this form is like actually, like now I'm heated.
Be careful out there, guys. Be careful out there. You never know what the hell you're getting yourselves into. Especially, again, there's so many VTubers that are like, that don't even have like a model, who don't even know how to approach an artist, and they probably applied for this thinking it's gonna be their big break because the group will do it for them. And honey, if you want to be a VTuber and you can't even ask an artist if they're open and taking clients, you're not ready. And I think, and the VTuber community tries very, very hard to be welcoming and positive, and to be this wonderland, this dream world where everything can come true if you've got a will and you're positive. And anything resembling like actual criticism and like critical thinking is almost like shunned away. And I think at the end of that day, that overabundance of positivity, that, again, toxic positivity is a thing that exists, is unfortunately some of the things that hurt VTubers in the end. The fact that people couldn't talk about what was going on with VShojo, so people kept applying thinking they were this amazing thing, and only now we learned all the bullshit going on. Like, you gotta look at things with a bit of a realistic lens. But, I had a train of thought and it's gone now. It was essentially around the same thing, though, again. God, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. I'm trying to find it. Yeah. It's especially nowadays where we're seeing where a lot of agencies and groups, like I remember I think a couple months ago people were like, all these VTuber agencies are shutting down, blah, blah, blah. Again, like, people should be able to talk about this sort of stuff. And it's them not wanting people to talk about it with the you're starting drama, you're being negative. That people need people who are willing to talk about this stuff. And help guide these more fledgling VTubers figure their shit out. I feel like not allowing that or even hiding this information from them is more detrimental and says a lot about the VTuber community than trying to like shut down critical conversation. That's probably also why I'll never be a big VTuber. It's probably why I'll also never be a big VTuber, because people will probably look at what I'm doing and being like, you're just stirring the pot and starting shit when people just want to have fun. And it's like, again, once money's involved, it's not fun anymore. It's business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's people thinking that it's not that are going to be taken advantage of. But yeah, I think it's time for us to look for someone to heckin' hold. Let's see who we can pass things off to. Heckin' Goblin King Gurg is currently streaming. They're streaming Total Warhammer. I think we're gonna pass things along to Dam. We're gonna just move to my just chatting really quick just to kind of help lay things over. But thank you so much, Maroon, for being here, for being a part of this and giving us your wonderful insight, and for all the work you do in Nat 19. We love you and appreciate you so heckin' much. Mwah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maroon is a wonderful bean. They, again, a lot of the things that you see coming out of Nat 19, they have been either orchestrated by Maroon or done by Maroon. There is a lot of fun stuff that we're cooking up, and Maroon has been a wonderful part in helping us not badger Logan as much about things.
I can't take all the credit. Chase is very helpful in that front.
Oh no, yeah, Chase is also very helpful. You and Chase make things a lot easier with not having to hound Logan for everything, because Logan was so darn busy with stuff that I don't know how this man was going to like keep doing everything on his own while having to write book after book after book. Like, it was just not gonna happen.
We're paid to be annoying.
But for those who want to follow Maroon, I think it's just Maroon Drops. No, like, underscore or anything. I will give a heckin' shout out to Maroon Drops. For those who want to follow our lovely media manager and give her some love. But we're gonna be heading out. I'm gonna be raiding into Goblin King Gurg, give him some love, call him cute. I will be back tomorrow with some heckin' Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and then I'm going to be taking the next weekend off because I'm going to be out of town. And we should be coming back, hopefully, to a peak collab with some of my VTuber siblings and with a couple friends. So it's going to be a friends and family collab stream. But yeah, NDM. Okay. I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I will see you all tomorrow. Mwah. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.